know who's going to get the ball. It's more of a wildcat formation. Wilkie looking to his right, firing right, and looks like he hit Nate Doss for a first and goal. Ball was on the 16, and now it's on the 4. 7-0 Red Bank over Signal Mountain with roughly a minute and change left in the game. The scoreboard is looking pretty wonky at the moment, but it says that, yeah, there it is. Now we have a minute left in the quarter. Direct snap to Calvin Jackson again, and Jackson's going to find a little seam, push his way forward, and he's going to be brought down just shy of the goal line. Red Bank trying to get on the board for the second time in the game and the quarter. Second and goal, 7-0 Red Bank. Another direct snap to Calvin Jackson, and Jackson's going to burrow his way between his center and his guard, and he's going to be in for a Red Bank touchdown. 14-0 Red Bank over Signal Mountain, as Calvin Jackson on the ground again scores another 2-yard touchdown on the ground for an Apollo Hair Systems touchdown, which gives us a score of 14-0. Calvin Jackson's also going to be the placeholder for the kick. Why not? Why not have Calvin Jackson do everything when you have a guy that good? So the kick is up, and it is good. 14-0 is your score. We've got 28 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and we're going to kick it back to Sam Jordan in the studio. You're listening to our high school football game of the week here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
The rumors are true. We've opened a Starbucks at 10 North, 20 Cherokee Boulevard on the North Shore. And
broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station. Nuga Radio 92.7.
The rumors are true. We've opened a Starbucks at 10 North, 20 Cherokee Boulevard on the North Shore. And we're more than just what we brew. We're your new North Shore neighborhood living room, a gathering place, a part of your daily routine, with a warm atmosphere, a spacious patio, convenient complimentary parking, and a full Starbucks food and beverage menu, including the new Nitro Cold Brew. We're a coffee experience, and we make sure everything we do is through the lens of community and contributing value to our vibrant neighborhood. Open daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. We look forward to serving you. Starbucks North Shore, inspiring and nurturing the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore, locally owned and operated by Vision Hospitality Group.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val, weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
On the Red Bank Lions, hosting the Red Bank Lions. Red Bank leading this game 14-0. Back-to-back touchdowns, back-to-back 2-yard runs on the ground by Calvin Jackson. So you can see what a factor he is for Red Bank. They're using him all over the field. He's the placeholder. He's the running back. Sometimes he's been the quarterback. He's the wide receiver. And he's been all over the field, and he's been causing nightmares for Signal Mountain so far in this game. We'll see exactly what it is that Signal's going to try and counter with offensively. Nick, what do you think they should do?
Well, right now you got to hang on to the football. You turned it over, you punt, you went 3 and out. Then you turn the ball over after you force the turnover. You got to just really take care of the football here. You're not out of the ball game yet. Friday, you're going to have to get points on this drive. Otherwise, it could get ugly quick.
28 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and even though they've really had to drive a large portion of the field, the fact that Red Bank has been able to get on the board twice so far, and with relative ease. Nick, are you surprised by this?
A little bit. But Red Bank, I think you're going to start seeing them get into a little bit more of a rhythm, being their second game. And, Red Bank, they went to the state semifinals last year for a reason. They're good. And you have a guy like Calvin Jackson. It makes it a lot better for you. And you add him to the offense, and look what's happened to the offense.
Oscar von Essen-Lees kicking off for Red Bank. He's kicking left to right to Signal Mountain. Ball is hanging in the air. It drops short of about the 10-yard line. Signal Mountain returner trying to find some room. He fumbles it, and Red Bank recovers it. This is a nightmare in the making for Signal Mountain.
Yeah, that's not what you need if you're Signal Mountain, and now you're sitting here. Short field for Red Bank. Here is still not at the end of the first quarter.
20 seconds left in the first quarter. The return, and this is actually similar to that Michael Porter punt return for Red Bank. It looked good. It looked like a good return, and then you just had a fumble at the end of the play, and it's
he got hit pretty good, popped the ball right out, but you can't carry the ball around like a loaf of bread. You got to be able to tuck it high and tight, and when you get hit, if you're not holding the ball the right way, you're going to lose it, and that's what's happened.
You have games where you've got kids that really just want to make a play, and sometimes fundamentals slip just a little bit. Maddox Wilkie in the gun hands it off to Strickland. Strickland pitches it back to Jackson. Jackson back to Wilkie. Wilkie throwing it over the top, and it's short. It's picked off by Signal Mountain. There's still life in the Eagles.
Unbelievable. What a great play design on a double flea flicker, but it was like a reverse flea flicker, but he underthrew his receiver that he had. He had Tyler Jones wide open, and he underthrew him by 5 yards, and then it's picked off. They pin Signal Mountain deep at about the 5-yard line, but, man.
Looked like Malone Howley was the defender that intercepted that pass from Maddox Wilkie. Just really underthrown because the play worked. I mean, he had him beat over the top.
Yeah, 100% he did. But now, Signal Mountain takes over. You still have a little bit of life now. You got to be able to drive the length of the field. I lied. I said it was at the 5, they're at the 10. So now you got to try to drive the length of the field here.
1st and 10, Signal Mountain. Jack Wilson gets the snap, and this handoff's not going to go anywhere.
Going to probably end that first quarter, Keon, and Signal Mountain lucky to be breathing right now.
All right, end of the first quarter. 14-0, Red Bank over Signal Mountain. But Signal Mountain with the ball, 2nd and 10, and an opportunity to drive and get on the board and get back into this ball game. We're going to kick it back to the studio to Sam Jordan. You're listening to our high school game of the week presentation here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
All righty, back here at Nuga Radio. Right now, it's Ray County over Walker Valley, 14-0. Chandler Kaler with a 6-yard TD run with score there in the first quarter. Ray County over Walker Valley, 14-0 already. Bradley Central Bears, they're tied up with Ottawa. Bradley Central got on the board with a 30-yard middle screen from Dylan Standiford to Sailor Clark. And later on, Ottawa scored on an 11-yard pass from Kyrell Sanford to Taj Cargill after a Chase Sanders interception. That is now into the second quarter with Ottawa and Bradley Central tied up at 7. Dalton is trailing Northwest Whitfield by a score of 14-7. Jamar Gibbs with a 90-yard kickoff return TD for Dalton, giving their lone score. And Marist, Georgia, leading over Baylor right now as they have just went into the end of the first quarter with Marist, Georgia leading 7-0. And now let's kick it back to Keon and Nick with a high school football game of the week.
Welcome back to Signal Mountain. Signal Mountain hosting Red Bank, and Red Bank finding themselves feeling very much at home in this game. 14-0 is their lead over the Eagles. And 2nd and 8 now for Signal Mountain, showing signs of life on the defensive side of the ball. Their offense really needs to get going now if they want to get back into this game. Standing in the gun is quarterback Jack Wilson. He's got 4 wide receivers, 3 to his right on the near sideline, 1 to his left on the far sideline, with his running back just beside him. Wilson drying his hands, arms outstretched, takes the snap, looks to his right, throws this one over the top to his receiver, Drew Lowry, and he overthrows Lowry about 4 yards. Incomplete pass.
Was the play call, though. You got to do something here, and I love the idea of the play call, but now you're sitting at 3rd and 8. Now you got to look at saving maybe some slant action or screen action to try to pick up the first down.
Ball on the 12-yard line, 3rd and 8. Wilson gets the snap, looks to his left, throws to his left, and miscommunication with Jaron Radden on the far sideline, and he throws behind him. Radden was going one way, the ball went another way, and that's...
Yeah, he definitely thought his receiver was running an out route, and he ran a stop.
That'll be another
Good
3 and out.
For an out route, though.
And we've seen things like that, just Jack Wilson and his receivers not necessarily on the same page, whether that be Radden or Lowry. And that's going to have to get ironed out because they do throw the ball a lot at Signal Mountain. This is received, Signal Mountain punting left to right, received by Nate Dawson. Dawson's just going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, he couldn't catch it on in play with the speed he was having, so he just kind of caught it and made a couple of steps and went out of bounds. Great field position, though, for Red Bank. They're at the 41-yard line of Signal Mountain with a chance to really, in this first half, kind of put this out of reach.
1st and 10 on the 41 at the start of the second quarter. Red Bank up 14-0. Their offense is rolling, though we did see last week their offense did get rolling against Central, and what ended up happening was they had some injuries, they had some cramps, and all of a sudden Central was able to get back into that game. As this handoff to Strickland goes to the left, Strickland bouncing it out further to the left, picking up 6 yards on a power run, brought down on the near side hash mark.
Yeah, another good run inside zone. It's killing Signal Mountain. I think that they're a little undersized on the inside, and really kind of costing them here.
Maddox Wilkie in the gun. He's got 3 wide receivers. 1 left, 2 right. And Strickland behind him. Hands it off to Strickland. Strickland has no room to run. Signal Mountain's defense plugging all the holes, and Strickland is brought down behind the original line of scrimmage for a loss of a yard.
Yeah, that was good. Good reads by the interior lineman there. Makes a good play, stuff the middle. Lemire Strickland had nowhere to go.
10:45 on the clock, 14-0. Red Bank over Signal Mountain, 3rd and 4. Ball on the 35 in the second quarter. And they brought back Calvin Jackson in the gun. He's going to hand it off to Strickland. And Strickland's going to spin upfield, keep his legs churning, pick up the first down on a gain of 6 yards.
Lemire Strickland's been the player of this half so far. It's pretty unbelievable what he's been able to do carrying the football. He's going to have over 100 yards rushing tonight if he's not careful.
Lemire Strickland picking up another first down. He's the guy that they turn to whenever they need one. Wilkie in the gun. 3 wide receivers. Wilkie fakes the handoff, throws it upfield, and just overthrows Clark Lockerbie, who was running down the seam.
Yeah, tried to hit a seam route there. A quick play action seam to the side end. He had him, just overthrew him. Good look, though.
Both quarterbacks struggling with accuracy issues. The difference is that Red Bank has just been able to pound it on the ground with an incredible combination of Lemire Strickland and Calvin Jackson, of all people, their star wide receiver. Maddox Wilkie in the gun. And we've got flags out on the field. Ball on the 29 in Signal Mountain territory. Ball start against Red Bank. This is going to back them up. It'll be 2nd and 15 on the 34.
Yeah, this is what Signal Mountain needs to put them in bad situations where you don't have a lot of plays for. If you're Red Bank here, you want to get about 7 or 8, maybe 9 yards here to be able to get a third and manageable.
Maddox Wilkie looking downfield, and he finds his man, Michael Porter, and Porter high pointing the ball, coming down with a pickup of
about 17.
About 17 yards, and enough for a first down as Red Bank continues to drive up the field against Signal Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive what Red Bank's done. They've dominated time of possession. They've moved the ball at will, minus a couple of turnovers, and with drives that haven't ended in turnovers so far, they've ended in points.
Wilkie in the gun. Wilkie looks to his right, throws to his right on the far sideline. Pass well defensed and broken up again by Malone Howley, who has the interception that got Signal Mountain the ball earlier.
Yeah. And if you're Red Bank, if I'm Coach Chris Brown, I need to talk to my players and be like, look, guys, we need possessions that end in kicks. Okay, I need either it be a touchdown and then an extra point. I need it to be a field goal attempt, or I need it to be a punt. We do not need to be turning the ball over.
9:30 in the second, 14-0. Red Bank leading Signal Mountain, moving the ball up the field. They're on the 14. It's 2nd and 10. Wilkie's going to hand this off to Lanier Strickland, who's going to go out to his right, and he's going to be horse-collared about one yard behind the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, so that's an automatic first down there. So Red Bank's going to get benefited of a horse collar tackle, and they did call it on a face mask, not a horse collar.
Okay. And it could just be the angle that we're at. I did not see the face mask on that call, but the officials are down there, and they certainly have a better view than we do. Part of the reason for our low angle is, like you mentioned earlier, the amount of people here in this arena, basically. And you've got people standing in the bleachers. You've got people standing down at the fences by the track. Wilkie hand this off to Calvin Jackson, and Jackson's going to slice through the defense for a pickup of 6 yards. 8:57 in the second. It should be 3rd and 5, ball on the 14-yard line. Maddox Wilkie in the gun, 3 wide receivers. Lanier Strickland right beside him. He hands it off to Calvin Jackson, and Jackson powers through, falls forward, and may have a first down for Red Bank.
If it's possible to wear a team out in the first half, that's what Red Bank's doing right now. They are just wearing Signal Mountain down, just powering, running the football. I mean, it's really impressive. They just keep putting different people back there. It's Strickland, it's Jackson, it's Doss, it's whoever they want back there, and they're doing whatever they want, running the football in between the tackles.
One of the things that Red Bank High School head coach Chris Brown is most proud of is, in fact, the depth that his team has. He can put anybody back there and feel very confident that they're going to score. And Lanier Strickland punches through the defense for a touchdown. Red Bank Lions score another one. An Apollo Hair Systems touchdown. It's this one's running away from Signal Mountain in a hurry.
Yeah. If they're not careful, we're going to have a running clock in the second half. We're going to get out of here early.
Calvin Jackson, placeholder again. And when you talk about, is it possible for Red Bank to wear out a team? Is it possible for Red Bank to wear out Calvin Jackson? They have him doing everything. This kick is up, splits the uprights. Oh, no, it doesn't. They said it's wide right. No good. 20-0 is your score. Less than a minute. Well, we'll see if the clock is actually correct on that, but the clock is saying.
No, I think it's 7:59, Keon.
Okay. I think whenever there's a 1 in the number, the clock actually doesn't work.
It's tough. It's tough to kind of figure out what's going on here with the clock, but we'll work through it. We'll power through and continue to go.
Second quarter, 20-0, Red Bank opening up a 3-possession lead over Signal Mountain. Signal Mountain offensively doesn't seem to have any answers. On the defensive side of the ball, they are being run through by an offense that just features way too many people who can run. Talk about Calvin Jackson, the wide receiver. Sometimes he lines up a quarterback and runs it. Obviously, Lumiere Strickland able to do all of the running that he does, whether they bounce him out to the left or to the right, and Nate Doss factoring in not just in the backfield, but in the passing game as well, and the depth of Red Bank High School proving to be a lot early for Signal Mountain to handle.
It really has been impressive. We have a little bit longer gaps in between here. The game is being televised as well, so we have a red hat on the field just letting us know those things going on.
Here's the kick from Red Bank to Signal Mountain. They'll be kicking right to left. The thing about the Red Bank possessions that they've had so far is that these possessions seem to last 100 years. They take forever to get up the field. They burn up all the clock, and they're not leaving a whole lot left for Signal Mountain to work with here in the first half.
If I'm Signal Mountain, I'm Coach Roberts, I'm like, guys, offense, I need you to stay on the field. My defense is tired.
And the kick is received, 25-yard line, getting up to the 30 on the near sideline, makes another man miss, gets out to the 33-yard line. Another good return for Signal Mountain. Can the offense capitalize? 20-0 is the score.
Still don't know the amount of minutes, but we have 51 seconds and whatever minute this is left in the first half.
It's been hard to tell, and we do rely on the clock a lot. So you look over to see what the time is, and we don't have a clear one. Jack Wilson, the quarterback, Signal Mountain, he's in the gun. He's got 3 wide receivers, and he's got his back behind him, and he's going to hand this one off as Signal Mountain starts this drive by going to the ground. Andrew Eckner, the tailback.
I think that's a great play call. I think right now you need to ground and pound a little bit, keep your defense off the field, try to get some points here before half. Try to take as much of this clock off in the second quarter as you can.
Wilson with a screen pass out to the left, and he's got Travion Williams, and Williams is going to get brought down 2 yards shy of a first down.
Smart plays. I mean, these are those quick hitters. These are what's going to be able to help you get your athletes the ball and get them out in space. As coaches like to say, you got to let the goons be goons. Let the guys go out there who are athletes. Let them go play. Let them go make plays.
Jack Wilson in the gun, 3 wide receivers. He's got Travion Williams on the far sideline to his left. He's looking left, and he tries to connect this time with Malone Howley.
Here you are. You're in third. You're third and manageable here. You make a difficult read right there, does Wilson. I don't know. I mean, that's...
Yeah, he threw into some traffic, and it looked like he was targeting, and we've got a play blown dead. Timeout taken by the Signal Mountain Eagles. We've got 6:53 remaining in the second quarter. Now that we have the actual time back again, 20-0 is your score. We're going to take a timeout break here. We're going to kick it back to Sam Jordan in the studio for our high school presentation of the game of the week here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Call 423-875-3600 if you're looking to expand your professional look of your business. Then consider the vast opportunities that are available when you locate your office with the Rains Group family. Remember, it's location, location, location. And the Rains Group has the location for your professional office. Check out the spaces for lease at Executive Business Park on the Lee Highway. Small or large, we will be able to suit your needs with the Rains Group. Call 423-875-3600 for the business professionals with the Rains Group.
The Knife Shop at Frost Colliery, located just off the Ottawa exit of I-75 North, has a complete selection of reloading supplies, a vast array of cutlery and cutlery-related products, handmade local crafted knives from around the world. Check out their vast selection of other collectibles.
Wilson throws a pass that's tipped out of bounds. Ball was catchable, but that brings up 4th and 4 for Signal Mountain. stalling out at midfield, 6:48 to go. 20-0 is your score, and they're going to have to punt to Red Bank again.
Unbelievable.
Just the way that they've struggled to move the ball today. And they have some athletes. I mean, you look at Travion Williams, and you know that he's a guy who can play. And Jack Wilson himself with a good arm. Just hasn't been able to be accurate today. There were some plays where they're just not on the same page, him and some of those receivers, and it's been a meltdown for Signal Mountain offensively. This turnover on downs, Lemire Strickland with a spin move, and he's going to pick up 5 yards for Red Bank.
Here goes Red Bank just going back to the ground, turning that clock, going to put some more points up. I mean, it's just really impressive.
I know that Chris Brown talks about how well Red Bank throws the ball, and certainly he does have a good player in Maddox Wilkie. But you look at how well they run it, too, and that's a big part of their success, is Wilkie throws a screen pass that goes for a gain of 4, just short of the first down. Brings up 3rd and short.
Looks like they might actually move the chains there, Keon.
No, actually, okay, they're going to say he did pick up the first down. 6 minutes and change.
This will move his feet a little bit.
So a nice dive on an extension on that screen pass there to pick up the first down. 1st and 10, ball on the 39. 20-0, Red Bank driving right to left. Wilkie in the gun, throws it over the middle, and pass intended for Xavier Doss.
Ooh. My defender might have got there a little bit early, Keon. No call, though, for pass interference.
Yeah, certainly the receiving player, Xavier Doss, was interfered with, and the question is a matter of timing. The officials say no PI on the play, so back to the line of scrimmage, ball on the 34, 2nd and 10, 20-0. Red Bank leading Signal Mountain, and they have the ball, and they are driving. Maddox Wilkie in the gun. He's got 4 wide receivers. He's looking to his right. He rolls to his right, and he's brought down in the backfield. The blitz successful. Rod Hutcherson bringing down Wilkie.
Now you got Red Bank 3rd and 14. They've given up a couple of these tonight. If you make a stop here, you're going to be able to get the ball back. I'm going to be interested to see if they get a few yards here, if they make it a little bit more manageable, does Coach Chris Brown decide to go for it and try to put a dagger into them? Because you're kind of in no man's land here.
Wilkie in the gun, looks downfield. He throws it deep. He's got a man downfield. He's not able to connect with Lucas Brown, who was a star for Red Bank last week in the absence of Calvin Jackson. 5:02 remaining in the half. It's 4th and 14.
Looks like Red Bank's going to go for it. Like I told you, Keon, they're in no man's land here.
They're in no man's land, and they've got a giant lead to play with. There's not as much risk involved on that.
It looks like they're going to punt. Have Maddox Wilkie do a quick punt. Oh.
And Wilkie's punt is low, and somehow no Red Bank players were touched in how that punt was at eye level.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how that went through. Ended up being a decent punt for it. Well, not pretty wise, but it got the job done. Got them pinned inside the 15.
I mean, the original snap was bobbled, and it got inside the 15-yard line somehow. Not entirely certain how it did. It got through every single player, didn't touch anybody. What was the hang time, do you think, on that punt? About a millisecond?
I don't know if you could even, if you stopped and started the stopwatch, I don't even know if it would have had any hang time. It was a worm burner. It was like a golf shot.
No elevation on that punt whatsoever. But Maddox Wilkie is not the punter he was going to do in a pinch. Coach Chris Brown trying to keep Signal Mountain guessing on what it is that he plans on doing. And sure enough, when you talk about breaking tendencies, that's one. You could definitely keep them on their heels that way.
That's definitely something for sure. Little quick kick, and I think the snap had a lot to do with it.
Oh, absolutely. The snap was about a foot to Maddox Wilkie's left, and so he had to regather himself and try and punt. And look, maybe your punter can recover from that normally, but your quarterback who's trying to punt is probably not going to recover from that as well. And yeah, that's the result that you get. And for it, everything is coming up Red Bank. It didn't backfire. Nothing.
Yeah, because they're lucky it didn't hit somebody in a line and roll the other way.
And you know what they say? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Signal Mountain.
Always better to be lucky than good.
Absolutely. Jack Wilson in the gun for Signal Mountain. He's got 5 wide receivers now. I mean, they're trying to be absolutely aggressive. Well, 4 wide receivers and Eckner in the backfield to block. This one's going to go over the top, and it's nearly intercepted by Michael Porter.
Not sure I like the vertical action there. A vertical passing game is very important to have, but you don't have the speed that Red Bank has to just burn somebody off the line and run verticals there. I think you need to more dink and dunk. You need to kind of go across the middle of the field, use your athleticism that you have that way, your strength, which is your guys are strong. You just got to get them in space in the middle of the field so they can make some moves and maybe make some power moves.
4:47 remaining in the half, 20-0. Red Bank over Signal Mountain. The handoff to Eckner. Eckner's going to fight his way up for a gain of a yard or 2. Fighting up the middle.
Not running at all. That's interesting.
No, clock didn't move there. Yeah.
Still not moving. There we go. All right.
A little bit of home cooking there, maybe, for Signal Mountain, who needs all the time that they can get. And they've got 4 wide receivers again, so even though your game plan would be more to dink and dunk, it doesn't appear like that's necessarily the game plan here for Signal Mountain.
They got with the trips to the left here. Look for some. Yeah.
Luke Wilson looking, and he's throwing that ball into no man's land. There was 3 Red Bank jerseys. There wasn't a Signal Mountain jersey, and that's 4th down. They're going to have to punt this one. 20-0 is the score. 4:18 in the half.
I hope that was a miscommunication.
I think it is, and it looks like that's been the theme of the game for Wilson and a lot of these receivers. They just don't seem to be on the same page. He's throwing the ball, and there are, as this punt is going left to right, and this is a deep punt, and he's going to push Porter back to the 40-yard line. Porter's going to run backwards before going forwards. Porter finding room. He escapes the traffic. He gets out to the 40-yard line. And Porter is running circles around everybody, but he's not necessarily going north and south the way you'd like. Gets to the 40, though.
He took some time off the clock.
So that helps. I mean, Michael Porter is, in every sense of the word, a playmaker. And I think sometimes when he's in one of those modes where he thinks he can make any lane appear, you live by the Porter and you die by the Porter. But he had the ball security on this particular run, and they didn't end up going much further backwards. I mean, they wound up getting to roughly the 47-yard line. So he did gain yards on the return in the most roundabout way possible.
Yeah, he ran about 80 yards and got about, what'd you say, about 15?
Something like that. .357 remaining on the clock, 20-0 is the score. Wilkie with a quick pass out to the right, and it's going to bounce off the hands of Tyler Jones.
Tried to start running before he caught the ball, Keon.
Yep, that's the number one thing they always teach receivers. You've got to see the ball into your hands before you take off. 2nd and 10, ball on the 48-yard line. Right on the Signal Mountain logo. 3:53 in the half. Wilkie in the gun, and he's got 3 wide receivers. And the pass, the handoff to Strickland.
looks like that was maybe a read option that Strickland thought he was going to keep Keon. I'm not really sure what happened there.
Well, Strickland didn't even really look like he wanted the ball. It looked like he thought he was going out in pass protection or something. Something happened, and he ran right past it, and Wilkie dropped it there for him, and he wasn't there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure exactly what was going on. Another miscommunication.
Well, that's going to back him up. 3rd and 19, ball on the 42. 3:15 in the half, 20-0. Red Bank over Signal Mountain. Wilkie in the gun. And Wilkie's going to drop back and pass it to Strickland to avoid some pressure out of the backfield, and they'll pick up 4 yards. Bring up 4th and miles and miles. They'll have to punt this one.
Well, this as fast as the first quarter went, the second quarter's kind of come to a screeching halt.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Red Bank didn't hold on to the ball as long as they did in the first half.
You are correct.
And Signal Mountain just hasn't gotten their drives going the way that they'd like to. 2:24 remaining in the half, punting this one. It's Red Bank to Signal Mountain. They're punting right to left from the 45-yard line, burning a little bit of clock in the second quarter. $20-0 is the score.
No, long play clock.
It is. And we have a timeout. Timeout, Red Bank. We're going to toss this one back to the studio and Sam Jordan. Thank you for joining us here for our high school football presentation of the week here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Thank you very much, Keon and Nick. Here's a look at some scores from around the region. Marist, Georgia leading Baylor 19-7. It's East Hamilton over East Ridge in the second quarter, 7-6. Bradley Central over Ottawa in the second quarter, 21-7. It is Dalton leading Northwest Whitfield 10-7. South Pittsburgh with a 20-0 lead over Sale Creek. That is in the second quarter. A lot of other games going on. A lot more updates coming your way. Stick around for halftime of tonight's game between Red Bank and Signal Mountain. Let's go back to Keon Rose and Nick LaFew.
I don't think so either. Zero is your score. 4th and 13 for Red Bank High School on the 45-yard line, punting right to left towards Signal Mountain. This punt is high. We talk about more hang time this time around, and the fair catch is called for.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you have a kicker kick the ball.
Well, the ball actually goes up, so that's the starter there. 1st and 10 for Signal Mountain. They've got less than 2.5 minutes to try and get up the field and get on the board. I mean, as bad as this one looks and feels, it's a 3-possession game. If you score here heading into halftime, Signal Mountain gets the ball back.
It's just if you're Signal Mountain, how much confidence do you have in your offense to, one, not turn the ball over, or do you just try to eat this and go to half?
4 wide receivers. Wilson looks to his right, throws the screen pass, and boy, a monster hit takes out Travion Williams right at the line of scrimmage. He was just crushed on the far sideline out there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're trying to take shots down the field here. You're at a minute 30-ish in the half.
Jack Wilson looking downfield, rolling out to his right to avoid pressure, and the catch is made by Williams, and he'll gain a yard or 2, but he's going to be in bounds. Clock is rolling. We're about to be under a minute.
Just another short little route. Looked like I didn't see him come off. I don't know if it was a drag across the field or just like a little toy route where he take a slant, come out, run an out route. Not exactly sure what the route was, but throwing across his body is the tough throw. Made a good throw, just no space for Travion Williams to make a move.
40 seconds remaining in the half. 20-0 Red Bank dominating this game against Signal Mountain. 3rd and 8 for the Eagles on the 22. The timeout is called by the Eagles. It looks like the Eagles are just trying to burn some clock and get out of here for the half.
Yeah, I think that's probably a smart thing at this point. Again, you don't want to go in down more. 3 possessions is doable. 4 is almost impossible. It's going to be interesting to see what adjustments Coach Roberts and his staff are going to make and going into the second half, because it's going to be very important to do so, to be able to make adjustments, see what they're going to have to do offensively. It's going to be most important for this defense to get a rest. I don't feel like the defense has not been out of position realistically. I think it's just been more of they haven't been able to stop guys like Lemire Strickland and Calvin Jackson in the backfield for Red Bank, and then Maddox Wilkie's hit receivers when he's needed to, and Red Bank's just really, they've executed really well in the first half offensively, and Signal Mountain has not.
Now Jack Wilson will take what looks like the final snap of the half here, and this pass towards Drew Lowry. Drew Lowry with a one-handed catch. Casually.
Yeah, that was really nice. I didn't. That was the best play of the night right there.
For either team, and great throw by Wilson, but what a catch by Lowry. That moves the sticks. 16 seconds in the half. Wilson in the gun, looking deep. He's going to throw this one over the top. He's going to overthrow absolutely everybody, and that'll be an incomplete pass. 8 seconds remaining in the half. 20-0 is your score. 2nd and 10. Ball on the 32. And this looks like now it should be the last snap of the half.
Well, if they do a little quick hitter, yeah, most likely will be. Or an incomplete pass. Mm-hmm.
And in the huddle, Jack Wilson breaking that. The Red Bank's defense has played tremendously, especially in that secondary. It made it very hard for Wilson to find anywhere to throw. Wilson looking to his left, rolling to his left, firing left, and pass just behind Travion Williams. Now there's 3 seconds remaining in the half.
Throw one up.
That's all that there's time for. Ball still on the 32. 3rd and 10. And Wilson brought down by Jaden High, but he gets the pass off. It's going to be incomplete. That is the end of the first half. 20-0. Red Bank dominating Signal Mountain. And Signal Mountain will receive the ball at the beginning of the second half. You're listening to our presentation of the high school football game of the week here on Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Stay tuned for halftime on Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM.
The 25th anniversary of the Trail of Tears Memorial Motorcycle Ride comes to Chattanooga Saturday, September 15th. Join the pre-ride kickoff party at Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga, Friday the 14th, starting at 4. We'll see you there.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, Rick is buying and selling a woman's best friend, diamonds. Stop in now and check out the wide selection from Chattanooga's premier jeweler, Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga. Before you buy, let Rick Davis Golden Diamonds create that special gift for you. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
Honey!
Again?
TheMobilemedics.com.
Mom!
TheMobilemedics.com.
My phone won't charge and I have to go to work.
Mobile Medics is your lifeline for on-site mobile device repair, broken screens to battery replacement. Mobile Medics comes to you at home, work, almost anywhere. Learn more at TheMobilemedics.com. And don't worry, Hershey will make sure they get there. themobilemedics.com. The Knife Shop at Frost Colliery, located just off the Ottawa exit of I-75 North, has a complete selection of reloading supplies, a vast array of cutlery and cutlery-related products, handmade local crafted knives from around the world. Check out their vast selection of other collectibles.
The rumors are true. We've opened a Starbucks at 10 North, 20 Cherokee Boulevard on the North Shore, and we're more than just what we brew. We're your new North Shore neighborhood living room. A gathering place, a part of your daily routine, with a warm atmosphere, a spacious patio, convenient complimentary parking, and a full Starbucks food and beverage menu, including the new Nitro Cold Brew. We're a coffee experience, and we make sure everything we do is through the lens of community and contributing value to our vibrant neighborhood. Open daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. We look forward to serving you. Starbucks North Shore, inspiring and nurturing the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore, locally owned and operated by Vision Hospitality Group.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Rick is buying and selling a woman's best friend, diamonds. Stop in now and check out the wide selection from Chattanooga's premier jeweler, Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga. Before you buy, let Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds create that special gift for you. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7 FM with halftime going on here with Red Bank and Signal Mountain, and it is a 20-0 halftime score. We're going to check in with Keon Rose and Nick LeFew and get a recap of the first half action. Keon, pretty interesting game. Signal Mountain had a little bit of a splash of gas, and then all of a sudden, Red Bank just kind of tore it open a little bit. Give us that recap, if you would.
20-0 is the score here at Signal Mountain High School. Yeah, Red Bank on the road, but they don't look like it. They look like they're very, very comfortable in Signal Mountain's house. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that the running game is just blown wide open for Red Bank. I mean, they've been finding ways on the ground to be successful with just about everybody. You talk about what they've been able to do with Calvin Jackson and Lemire Strickland and Nate Doss. That, and we're having a much better game for them in the passing game with Maddox Wilkie. Wilkie got off to a slow start last week, but Wilkie's finding his targets on a few throws. He's finding Calvin Jackson in the middle of the field, obviously, but he's also found Michael Porter on a couple of big grabs as well. And there was one really, really nice throw that he had to Lucas Brown. So just all the receivers and all the players on board for Red Bank. And look, I mean, this team, they look every bit as good as they did last year. And there was no reason to believe they were going to lose a step, even with the game in Soddy Daisy or against Soddy Daisy being rained out the way that it was. They did get off to a slow start previously against Central, but that's not the case here tonight. And Signal Mountain, right now, they've got more questions than they have answers in how all of this has been going for them. I don't know what they can do differently because essentially they've been swallowed up defensively. Red Bank's defense has also shown up to play today, especially in the passing game. And passing is such a big part of what it is that Signal Mountain does. They look for the pass, and you have some guys that you really can't throw on, especially Michael Porter. I mean, Michael Porter has been a huge factor in the special teams game, but more importantly than that, he is an athlete at defensive back, and you can't really beat him over the top with what Signal Mountain's throwing at him, and that's been problematic too.
Michael Porter has been a shutdown corner for these first two games for Red Bank, and I think Michael's play tonight has shown that. I mean, they're trying to get to their best wide receiver. I believe it's Howley that they're trying to hit, and Porter step for step with him, and it's really been impressive. what Porter's been able to do. I don't want him to go unsung as a hero in this one for Red Bank so far, but the thing is that Lumiere Strickland has been able to do, like I said, I think he's going to be close to 100 yards rushing tonight, if not exceed it. He's been all over the field running those inside zones. If I'm Signal Mountain, I got to figure out a way to stop that, because that's unbelievable. That's caused so many problems for Red Bank or for Signal Mountain. And Coach Roberts, they got to be making a lot of adjustments here at halftime to try to figure out what they're going to do to slow it down, whether they're going to have to put more people in the box, because Red Bank hasn't taken the top off of the defense. They're not throwing the ball deep. They're hitting them short. I would maybe see a few more men in the box, use the linebackers to maybe make some plays in coverage if they have to in a zone.
And I agree with something that you did say there, Nick, which is that they've got the talent at wide receiver. I mean, Howley is the guy that you mentioned, but Travion Williams is incredibly athletic and has made plays when he has gotten the ball in his hands. He just hasn't gotten the ball in his hands all that often. I think that's one thing that Coach Roberts would have to address at halftime, is the fact that wide receiver and quarterback don't seem to be on the same page.
Even when they're getting the ball in their hands, there's no space, there's no separation. They've got to come up with some route combinations, either some rub routes or anything like that, to be able to help these receivers get into space. Because if some of these receivers like Howley, like Williams, can get into space, then you're talking about some big games that can happen. But until then, you really don't know.
No, 100,000%. I don't know if there's even a way that they can do that, obviously, because just the way that your game plan is set before you usually come into a game like this. Unless you trust your kids enough to just throw something out the window, I don't see how Signal Mountain's really going to be able to fight back against Red Bank in this one unless something drastically changes. And those home run balls that they're throwing towards Williams and throwing towards Howley, unless those start to connect, Red Bank is facing a very long uphill battle to claw back into this game.
Well, and I think the thing that if you're Signal Mountain, what you really got to focus on is the first drive. You can't get all 20 points back on that first drive. Go down there, execute, because things have been there, they haven't executed. And if you execute plays, you're going to score. So the guys just got to buy into what Coach Roberts is doing. And once they do that, once things click, eventually you're going to be able to get in the end zone. If you're able to get in the end zone on this first drive, we have a ball game. If they stall again and Red Bank gets that ball back, I expect to see Coach Brown say, all right, Lumiere, all right, Calvin, I'm going to give you the ball, and we're going to run, and we're going to run this clock off.
Yeah, I agree. It's been so far the Lumiere Strickland Calvin Jackson show. I mean, Strickland takes him up the field. Calvin Jackson on the ground punches him in. He's got two-yard touchdowns scored for them already, and Strickland scored the other one. So yeah, we're looking at a game where Signal Mountain's going to have to play pretty flawless football coming out of the half for a chance to get back into this game.
You're going to have to play almost nearly perfect football in the second half to even have a chance. And as of right now, offensively especially, Signal Mountain has no rhythm. And it's got to be frustrating for Coach Roberts. I don't know. I mean, the miscommunications that have happened between quarterback and receiver on multiple occasions, that's got to drive a coach absolutely insane.
And the thing is, the talent is there. The talent is there. And so there's pretty much no reason for them to be struggling the way that they are, except that they're just not on the same page with some of these routes. They have had some issues with penalties as well. So you're just seeing problems, one or two problems stack and just become monsters of problems.
Well, they're just getting behind the sticks. And when you get behind the sticks, in this type of offense, it's almost impossible to recover. And if they're not able to get 3-4 yards on first down, then 3-4 yards on second down, they got to stay ahead of schedule. And if they don't, then you see what you saw in the first half, and that punt, turnover. So I think, we'll see a lot in the second half. I know Signal Mountain's band's about to take the field. We have about 9 minutes left in half. But I think this is a well-needed rest for Signal Mountain's defense, and then maybe they can regroup and try to get back into the ballgame.
Maybe. Well, that's it for our halftime show. That we've got just a recap of the first half and everything that's going down. Signal Mountain yet to get on the board. Red Bank getting into the end zone 3 times, missing 1 extra point, and the score is 20-0. You're listening to our high school football presentation, game of the week here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Sam, back to you.
All right, thanks, guys. And we've got a lot of scores to give to you here, so stick around and let's get you updated. As we have been saying, Red Bank leading in halftime over Signal Mountain 20-0. Marist, Georgia leading Baylor right now late in the second quarter by a score of 19-7. That game being played at Baylor High School. Chattanooga Central, they're looking to come away with a victory as they are leading right now narrowly over Sequoia out of Madisonville by a score of 7-0. That game being played at Chattanooga Central out on Route 58. Chattanooga Central 1-1 going into that contest. Sequoia, as I said, 2-0. At halftime, East Hamilton leading the Pioneers of East Ridge 21-6. It's Ray County leading Walker Valley 42-3 at halftime. Anderson County and Hickson, no score as of right now. Lenora City and Saudi Daisy, no score to report. Cannon County and Sequatchie County, no score to report. Bradley Central over Ottawa at half. 21-7. Both teams in that matchup with 1-1 identical records. Cleveland hosting William Blount. No score on that game. Right now it's Meigs County leading Cumberland Gap 20-0 in the second quarter. Montgomery Bell Academy having their way with McCauley 27-7. Other games going on: Grace Baptist Academy and Friendship Christian and Loudon at Brainerd. No score on those matchups there. Bledsoe County narrow lead over Marion County in the second quarter 7-6. Tyner Academy 21-0 over Polk County at half right now. Jellicoe and Lookout Valley in action. No score right now. At the half, South Pittsburgh, they extended their lead. They had a 20-0 lead in the first quarter. They've added 15 more. They made it a 35-0 lead at halftime over Sale Creek. Whitwell having their way with Copper Basin by a score of 42-0 in the second quarter. Dalton over Northwest Whitfield right now 10-7. It's Chattanooga Christian having a whale of a game over Silverdale Baptist. Chattanooga Christian leading 35-0. Also, Tryon leading over Dade County at the half 7-0. Sweetwater and McMinn Central. That game being controlled by Sweetwater as they're blanking McMinn Central 22-0 still in the second quarter. Grace Christian out of Knoxville with a 42-0 halftime lead over Boyd Buchanan. And Lookout Valley 21-0 now over Jellicoe at the half. Other games going on: Lafayette at Gordon Lee, Coachella Creek and Southeast Whitfield, Gordon Central's at Gilmer, and Heritage at Chattooga. So when we get more updates, we'll try to give you some of those scores. And we've got more halftime coming your way here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Stay tuned for halftime on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
The rumors are true. We've opened a Starbucks at 10 North, 20 Cherokee Boulevard on the North Shore. And we're more than just what we brew. We're your new North Shore neighborhood living room, a gathering place, a part of your daily routine. With a warm atmosphere, a spacious patio, convenient complimentary parking, and a full Starbucks food and beverage menu, including the new Nitro Cold Brew. We're a coffee experience, and we make sure everything we do is through the lens of community and contributing value to our vibrant neighborhood. Open daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. We look forward to serving you. Starbucks North Shore, inspiring and nurturing the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore, locally owned and operated by Vision Hospitality Group.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Rick is buying and selling a woman's best friend, diamonds. Stop in now and check out the wide selection from Chattanooga's premier jeweler, Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga. Before you buy, let Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds create that special gift for you. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
Set the Hook with Pat Rose. Weekends on Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM.
20-0 is our halftime score with Red Bank leading Signal Mountain. And Calvin Jackson having a good night. He capped off a 13-play drive with a 2-yard TD run with 6:04 in the first quarter, getting Red Bank on the board. And then he followed up in the later portions of the first quarter with 28 seconds left on another 2-yard TD run. And it seems like 2-yard TD runs, scoring 6. Well, it all adds up. Red Bank at that point leading 14-0. And then later on, Red Bank was able to get some more points on the board, and thus they lead 20-0. Ray County having their way with Walker Valley. Right now it's 42-3 at halftime in that game, and Walker Valley coming into this contest with an 0-2 record. Looks like they're going to be heading to 0-3 very quickly. They are also kind of plagued with numbers as far as with players, and it's an unfortunate situation to say the least. Polk County, who has started the season off 2-0, taking on and hosting Tyner Academy, but Tyner has tore him up in the first half. Tyner leading Polk County 21-0. And so that game still has another at least 15, 16 minutes to go. But Tyner kind of pulling a little bit of a surprise. Tyner coming into the contest with a 1-1 record. South Pittsburgh blanking Sale Creek. South Pittsburgh already starting the year out with a 2-0 record. Looks like they're going to sail on to 3-0. And just like Whitwell is over Copper Basin, leading 42-0. So one other update that we've been following with a little bit of interest, Dalton leading Northwest Whitfield 10-7. And that's fast approaching the half. East Hamilton and East Ridge right now at half. East Hamilton leading 21-6 over the Pioneers. So kind of interesting to see with those two teams there. Heritage and Chattooga also in action tonight over on the Georgia side of the line, just like Lafayette in action tonight with Gordon Lee, but Lafayette
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Back here with the high school football halftime show, and we're glad to have you along wherever you're at. It is a 20-0 game with Red Bank leading over Signal Mountain in a huge region rivalry. As you know, Red Bank kind of got a little bit of its area tore away about 10 years ago to create Signal Mountain, and so there really is kind of a love-hate relationship. But right now, Red Bank having their way with Signal Mountain, and they're leading 20-0. We will have a complete look at the standings here with Lookout Mountain and Signal Mountain, or rather Red Bank and Signal Mountain. Red Bank right now with a 1-0 record. Signal Mountain right now with an 0-2 record. And Red Bank, as you know, was supposed to play Saudi Daisy in week 1, but that game got canceled due to extreme poor field conditions because of the monsoon weather that we experienced on that Friday night a couple of weeks ago. But Red Bank and Signal Mountain right in the thick of things, battling it out with the McMinn Centrals, the Brainards, the Loudons, and Sweetwaters in the Class 3A Region 3 race. And right now, Red Bank actually has the advantage over its opponents in that division. Copper Basin, one of those teams that kind of reminds you a little bit like Walker Valley. They're starting off the year with an 0-2 record. Looks like they're going to head on to an 0-3 record as they're being blanked right now in their contest, and we'll give you an update on that here in a little bit. Notre Dame at Christian Academy of Knoxville, CAK as it's more affectionately known, and no score to report to you on that contest. Meigs County leading Cumberland Gap in the second, 20-0. Marist, Georgia over Baylor right now, being played over at Baylor, 19-7, and that is still going on in the second quarter. Lafayette and Gordon Lee, as we said, at half, 21-0. Lookout Valley leading Jellicoe 21-0 also at the half. It's Tryon over Dade County at the half, 7-0. And trying to give you some more scores, Chattanooga Christian leading Silverdale Baptist at the half, 35-0. South Pittsburgh at the half over Sale Creek, 42-0. Grace Christian Academy out of Knoxville leading Boyd Buchanan. Actually not leading, they're blanking, shellacking, whatever else you want to call them, 42-0. Bledsoe County now 14-6 lead over Marion County. And that pretty much gets you up to date with everything that's going on around here. Sweetwater and McMinn Central. Sweetwater still leading 22-0. MBA over McCauley at the half, 27-7. And it is, let's see here, Central over Sequoia out of Madisonville by a 7-0 score. And Ottawa was right there with Bradley Central, but the Bears have pulled away to a 27-7 halftime lead. And actually now they're in the third quarter of action there in Ray County over Walker Valley right now at the half, 42-3. Whitwell and Copper Basin, Whitwell having their way with the Copper Basin squad, 42-0. And that is at half. And we've got a dandy of a ball game. Even though it's a shutout right now, 20-0, don't count Signal Mountain out. And we're going to take one final break, and when we come back, we'll go back to Keon Rose and Nick LaFew for all the action of tonight's game here on Nougat Radio. Back with more in a moment.
The 25th anniversary of the Trail of Tears Memorial Motorcycle Ride comes to Chattanooga Saturday, September 15th. Join the pre-ride kickoff party at Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga Friday the 14th, starting at 4. We'll see you there.
The Knife Shop at Frost Colliery, located just off the Ottawa exit of I-75 North, has a complete selection of reloading supplies, a vast array of cutlery and cutlery-related products, handmade local crafted knives from around the world. Check out their vast selection of other collectibles.
The rumors are true. We've opened a Starbucks at 10 North, 20 Cherokee Boulevard on the North Shore, and we're more than just what we brew. We're your new North Shore neighborhood living room. A gathering place, a part of your daily routine, with a warm atmosphere, a spacious patio, convenient complimentary parking, and a full Starbucks food and beverage menu, including the new Nitro Cold Brew. We're a coffee experience, and we make sure everything we do is through the lens of community and contributing value to our vibrant neighborhood. Open daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. We look forward to serving you. Starbucks North Shore, inspiring and nurturing the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore, locally owned and operated by Vision Hospitality Group.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Rick is buying and selling a woman's best friend, diamonds. Stop in now and check out the wide selection from Chattanooga's premier jeweler, Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga. Before you buy, let Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds create that special gift for you. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
Friday night high school football action here on Nougat Radio 92.7 FM. Getting ready to check back in with Keon Rose and Nick LaFew. But let's give you one more quick update here. Scores: South Pittsburgh blanking Sale Creek 42-0. It's the same score with Grace Christian out of Knoxville over Boyd Buchanan. That's at the half with Grace Christian out of Knoxville leading 42-0. It's Chattanooga Christian leading over Silverdale Baptist 35-0. That's at the half. East Hamilton and East Ridge at the half, 21-6. It's Tryon over Dade County right now, 7-0. Dalton leading over Northwest Whitfield, 10-7. And also 21-0 lead for Lafayette over Gordon Lee. Lenoir City and Saudi Daisy, no update on that contest there. We'll try to get you more scores. Chattanooga Christian leading over Silverdale Baptist 35-0. Mondo Ellison for Chattanooga Christian, 4 first half TDs in that contest. And so Mondo Ellison getting his number called quite a bit in that contest there. All right. And we're going to take one more break. And when we come back, we hope to join Keon and Nick with the second half of action here on Nougat Radio.
The 25th anniversary of the Trail of Tears Memorial Motorcycle Ride comes to Chattanooga Saturday, September 15th. Join the pre-ride kickoff party at Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga Friday the 14th, starting at 4. We'll see you there.
Honey!
Again?
TheMobilemedics.com. TheMobilemedics.com.
My phone won't charge and I have to go to work.
Mobile Medics is your lifeline for on-site mobile device repair, broken screens to battery replacement. Mobile Medics comes to you at home, work, almost anywhere. Learn more at TheMobilemedics.com. And don't worry, Hershey will make sure they get there. TheMobilemedics.com.
The 25th anniversary of the Trail of Tears Memorial Motorcycle Ride comes to Chattanooga Saturday, September 15th. Join the pre-ride kickoff party at Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga Friday the 14th, starting at 4. We'll see you there.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Rick is buying and selling a woman's best friend, diamonds. Stop in now and check out the wide selection from Chattanooga's premier jeweler, Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga. Before you buy, let Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds create that special gift for you. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
Wait, did you say you can or? You're listening to the high school game of the week here on Nougat FM. Thank you for joining us here today. We've got a game that needs some rectifying here at Signal Mountain on the move against Red Bank, and they need to be because they're down 20-0 in this game. They may change it at quarterback of Drew Lyle. In and
may just have been a operation, Keon. They may be trying just to do things out to try to figure out what's going to work the second half. It does look like Lowry is taking the snaps though, and
it is I mean, just trying to use the mobility of some of these players. Lowry is one of the playmakers that Signal Mountain has. Is just a very athletic young man. They need everything now. So, I mean, it's going to be all hands on deck. As we mentioned during the half, they're going to have to play some flawless football to get back in this one to even have a chance. And Lowry is, again, lining up the quarterback in the gun. He's got 3 wide receivers. So that might be it for Wilson on the night. But Lowry looking downfield, rolling out to his right. He's going to be brought down by a gang of Lions in the back. Go for a long 3 yards.
There because you've gotten ahead and now you're not.
I mean, yeah, the offense looked like it was moving a little bit, but here's the issue. I mean, you have your guy who's a wide receiver and a DB, and he's taking snaps at quarterback for you just to give you a level of mobility. And I don't think that that's any knock on Jack Wilson at all. Just he's more of a pocket passer, and Red Bank's defense is doing more than enough to contain him. You've got to try to do something else. And Drew Lowry standing in the shotgun now with 3 wide receivers, 2. Jaden, who is a freak at the defensive side.
Again, just mistakes by Signal Mountain over again. We've seen it. We've seen miscommunication on routes. We've seen snaps when they're not ready. It's like they're just not all there. I'm not really sure what's going on.
And none of those problems is damning in and of itself. But as you mentioned, it's the combination of it. It's the fact that they compound. It's you can't have those mistakes happen again and again and again.
Well, just like we talked with Coach Brown from Red Bank, he said that we want to improve on those things, and they haven't been able to. And it's just frustrating. It's done a great cutting down on penalties. I think they one or two. And then just some little mistakes by Signal Mountain.
And Lowry gets the snap. He's going to fight. I mean, the sign of life is I think that they need it.
Well, place on the line.
Absolutely. When you talk about it, I mean, you said they needed to play flawless football, but you also need to be able to dig yourself out of some of these mistakes, and that's one way to do it. Lowry with the pass. He's got trips to his left. He's going to hand this one off to Andrew Eckner, and Eckner's going to squeeze out maybe a 2 yards. And we've got a flag on the play.
The way that's thrown, it's either a face mask or it is a hold.
Either way, Signal Mountain's offense is now forcing Red Bank into positions that they haven't been in this game. And we saw a little bit of this last week with the Central game, with Red Bank scored 20 unanswered points, and then Central never quit, never gave up, and then they got back into that game before Red Bank ultimately won it.
Yeah, here though, you got plenty of time. You're at about just under 7 minutes now, but in the third quarter. But you've got to have a little bit of a sense of urgency if you're Signal Mountain. This is the first drive you put together, and now you're going to take up over half the third quarter, and Red Bank's going to do the exact same thing. You can't be doing this. You got to score quick.
And Lowry's going to hand it off to Eckner, and Eckner's going to fight his way for 4 or 5 more yards. About 2 or 3 yards short of a first down.
Man, I get what they're trying to do. They've got to be them at this point and get points on the board. But I mean, you're already talking a 6-minute drive here, and you're down 3 scores, not 1. And the way Red Bank's going to play it, they're going to hand the ball off to Lemire Strickland when they get the ball back. And guess what? He's been able to do it all night. Run the ball.
Pick up first downs at will, it seems like. 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Lowry's going to hand it off to Eckner again, and Eckner's going to fall forward.
So if you're going to run the ball here, though, they're spreading out. They're basically what's called 10 personnel. They have no tight ends. They have 1 back. You're running 4 wide receivers. That's not conducive to being able to run the football. They got a first down there, but if you're going to want to run the football, 10 personnel is not the way to do it.
20-0 is the score. Red Bank leading over Signal Mountain. Signal Mountain, though, driving. 1st and 10 on the 19. 5:40 remaining in the game. They found some offense here with Lowry, a quarterback, and Lowry's going to keep it himself and fight and push. And Lions are bouncing off of him like he's Superman. He's going to fall into the end zone for Apollo Hill Systems first down or touchdown.
He's just short, Keon.
He's just short. Okay.
But it's this angle, man.
We're at an odd angle here. We're
at the opposite 30-yard line, so makes it a little tough. But here's what I will say about this: with Lowry being able to play quarterback here, he's not your normal quarterback. He's going to be able to take those hits a little bit more than Jack Wilson will. And now I think it's been an interesting change for Coach Roberts and his staff. So far it's worked.
And hey. Look, we said they needed to do something extreme coming out of halftime. This is the extreme thing. You take your wide receiver, you put him in a quarterback, and all of a sudden, he's finding himself falling forward. He's once again just shy of the end zone, but he's very close. It's 1st and goal. 4:50 remaining in the third quarter. 20-0. Red Bank leading in this game. They scored 3 early. They had 2 Calvin Jackson touchdowns and a Lemire Strickland touchdown to cap it off. They did miss the extra point, which is how we wound up with 20.
Not to completely divert from the game that we're talking about right now and the one that we're at, but I wonder how our picks are going. I wasn't able to really listen to Sam much in the halftime break.
We'll see if we can get some of these going back for us after this. If Signal Mountain's able to score. And Lowry burrows in for a touchdown. Signal Mountain, the Eagles on the board. Third quarter, 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Drew Lowry on the quarterback keeper, and it's 20-6.
There's those, that right there, that's what Signal Mountain needs. They did take a good almost 8 minutes off the clock, but you get on the board, you're down 20-7. Now you have an or 20-6 pending the extra point.
Wilson's going to hold the snap. The kick is up, and it's no good.
Had a lot of distance on it, though. It almost ended up in the woods back there.
Yeah, we went clear across the track area. It looked like it was going to be good, but 20-6. Now, you'll take the touchdown if you're Coach Roberts and Signal Mountain. So after the end of this touchdown, we're going to have both teams get ready to kick here. We'll kick it back to the studio, Sam Jordan. We'll get a scoreboard update. We'll see how those picks are going for us that we made at the Gridiron Gang show yesterday at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. So we'll kick it back to you, Sam. This is our high school football presentation, the game of the week, here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Thank you very much, Keon and Nick. It's an interesting ball game. Will Signal Mountain make a comeback? We'll have to find out here. Right now, we'll give you an update. MBA leading over McCauley in a fumble-plagued game for McCauley.
Are we going to be able to?
By a score of 21-0 at halftime. So we'll give you more information on that game as we get a little bit closer. But for right now, it's Signal Mountain and Red Bank here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Take it, guys.
You're listening to Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, our high school football game of the week. Signal Mountain getting on the board in the third quarter, late in the third. And their defense now has to do something that it has not been able to do all night, which is stop Lemire Strickland and these Red Bank Lions from moving the ball up the field, wasting clock, and picking up first downs. I mean, it's been something that Red Bank has been able to do successfully all night. Here comes the kick from Red Bank going left to right. This one's going to go into the end zone. It's going to bounce out of the back of the end zone. 4:11 remaining in the third. Red Bank will start on their own 20, 1st and 10, and they're going to touch the ball for the first time this half. And Signal Mountain took a long time to score.
Yeah, and I'll say this. When it comes to what you want to do, if you're Red Bank, you don't want to give up points. But if you're going to do it, make them take 8 minutes off the clock, because if you do that, chances are if you're going to run the ball and you do it well, they're going to run out of time. You're not going to have 3 more possessions. So should be interesting to see what Red Bank's what their plan is here. I expect to see a lot of Lemire Strickland, a lot of Calvin Jackson.
I'm pretty sure that's the best and only prediction you could really make here. Max Wilkie hands it off to Strickland as expected. That picks up 1 yard there on the run up the middle.
But that's okay right there. I mean, you're fine. You don't lose yardage. You're fine. You're letting that clock roll. And the clock is the enemy of Signal Mountain. It is the friend of Red Bank. Red Bank's just I'm not a big fan of playing not to lose, but you also got to be smart, and you don't want to turn the ball over, and your best chance to do that is putting the ball in the air.
And clock management is a huge part of this, too. You don't want to take unnecessary risks. Wilkie hands it off to Strickland again. And check that. That didn't look like Strickland. That might have been...
It was, actually, though.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he's just a little more shifty than normal.
Again, this angle, the numbers, is hard to see from where we're sitting. But Strickland, again, 3rd and 7, ball on the 23, 20-6 is the score, 3:11 remaining in the third quarter. 3 wide receivers for Wilkie. And he's going to look right, and that one's going to be smacked out of the air. Dalton Cunningham on defense read that pass perfectly and punched it out of the air. Not even going to give Red Bank a chance to really throw it. 4th down and 8 brought up. punting from the 22-yard line here late in the third quarter, 2:55 remaining. 20-6 is your score.
If you're Signal Mountain, that's exactly what you needed to do. And you got them off the field quick, 3 and out. You get the ball back. You have an opportunity. Now, if you're able to make a special teams play here, you're going to probably get decent field position, if not great field position. Let's see how quickly Signal Mountain wants to strike on this drive.
And this punt is high, but not particularly far. And
great field position for Signal Mountain.
Down at the 45-yard line in Red Bank territory. I mean, that defensive stand for Signal Mountain went about as good as they could have asked for.
Yeah, I mean, that was exactly what you needed to do, and here we sit. 2:45 remaining in the third quarter, and Signal Mountain has field position inside the 40 of Red Bank at about the 39.5-yard line. And boy, I'll tell you what, Signal Mountain try to make a little bit of a push here.
And it's just sometimes changing quarterbacks can throw off a defense. And Drew Lowry is nothing like Jack Wilson in terms of
complete opposite. Yeah, complete opposite. And I think that brief time that Coach Brown had with his defense may have been enough to be able to say, hey, this is what we've got to adjust. We talked to him about wrinkles that you may see. I think this is a wrinkle he wasn't expecting. You wouldn't expect Drew Lowry to come into the game as quarterback. He's played a lot of wide receiver. He's played a lot of DB, but now he's playing quarterback, and things change. And
and he's thrown the ball only twice, but he's throwing it well enough. He's throwing it well enough to get pretty much the space required. I mean, he throws it well enough, and he's mobile enough that you have to respect his legs, and it's giving Signal Mountain another dimension that they didn't have in the first half.
Yeah.
So they're going to line up offensively here. Lowry in the gun. He's got 4 wide receivers. Standing beside him is his running back, Andrew Eckner. And Lowry's going to throw the screen pass, and that one's going to be tough to bring in.
It's incomplete. It's probably better for him that it was incomplete. He probably would have lost yardage if it was a completion.
Travion Williams had to dive for that screen pass. It was just a bit low. 2:42 in the third quarter.
Again, you have a guy at quarterback who's not really a quarterback, and so sometimes throwing the football can be a little bit of an adventure.
And they're not asking him to go out there and be a superstar quarterback. They're simply asking him to go out there and throw the ball well enough for it to be a threat. The real danger with Lowry here is his legs.
100%, you're right, yep.
So Lowry in the gun, 4 wide receivers, Eckner in the backfield beside Lowry, and Lowry's going to keep this one run right up the middle and keep his legs churning for a pickup of 4 yards. That'll be 3rd and 6.
You're right here, though. I mean, that's just a simple QB power, and he gets 4 yards on it. That might be a play there that Coach Roberts wants to run on first down instead of throwing a screen pass.
And you may see things like that happen throughout the game as it gets to be more desperate. We've got 2:13 remaining, and you hear Signal Mountain. It's incredibly important to get on the board here again, because then you make this thing a one-possession game.
Yeah.
Lowry in the gun, 4 wide receivers. You got a man in motion, and they fake the sweep to Travion Williams, and they have Lowry keep it, and Lowry's going to get maybe 2 yards. Red Bank players saying that he fumbled and that they have the ball, but
it's 4th down here. I mean, you got to go for it. You would assume you're at 1:30 here in the third quarter. You're in great position to try to get it, but it's 4th and 6 with a quarterback who's not a quarterback.
It's a tough position, and staying on schedule is hard when you've taken away that extra vertical dimension.
And they take a timeout.
And they took a timeout, so it's pretty much gut check time here. When you look at them and you go, well, we don't necessarily know exactly what we need to do to pick up a first down, but you do know that it's crucial. So we're going to take this timeout break. Kick it back to Sam in the studio. You're listening to our high school football presentation, the game of the week here on New Radio 92.7 FM.
All right, here's a look at some score updates. Right now, Ray County extending their lead over Walker Valley 49-10. That's in the fourth quarter. 27-21 in the third quarter with Bradley Central leading Ottawa. And it's 28-7 now, Tyner Academy over Polk County. And it's Lookout Valley over Jellicoe 21-0. South Pittsburgh still leading Sale Creek 35-0. Same score with Chattanooga Christian and Silverdale Baptist, with Chattanooga Christian leading. And it is Grace Christian of Knoxville, 42-0 lead over Boyd Buchanan. Let's get you back to the high school football game of the week with Red Bank and Signal Mountain. Here's Keon Rose and Nick LaFew.
On the 34-yard line, it's 4th and 6, and Signal Mountain has to keep this one. Drew Lowry looking to his left. He throws. First down. Middle field. Unbelievable throw. He found Malone Howley.
Yeah, we said we had to get him going if you wanted to make a move if you're Signal Mountain, and here they go. They make a move, and now you're at a point where here you can make the extra point. You're down 7. Still just over a minute remaining here in the third quarter. Let's see if they can put this one through, because
I mean, this one looks good, but it's hard to tell with this one. It is good. 20-13. Only down 7 now. Signal Mountain fighting back to get into this game. And Malone Howley on the reception. It was just a slant pass, Nick.
I mean, it was. Red Bank looked like they were caught sleeping. I don't really understand what happened there, but great play. Great timeout, it looks like, by Coach Roberts. Not one that I actually think that should have been made, but it seemed to have worked out.
I mean, you need to make sure your guys are disciplined, and you knew you had to take the risk. I mean, fourth down at this stage in the game, and the way they were trailing, they absolutely had to fight back, and that was a gamble, and it paid off.
It was a great play, though. Great play, great energy on the Signal Mountain sideline after that. I think if you don't believe in momentum, I think you're crazy, because the momentum's all on Signal Mountain's side, and we'll see. You know, they're still down, but if they can make another stop, I expect to see a little bit of a different plan out of strategy out of Coach Brown on Red Bank's sideline here for this offensive possession. You may see a little bit more of throwing the football, but we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do.
Yeah, I agree. Red Bank opted to be more conservative on that last drive, and obviously if you're going to have Signal Mountain coming back in this game nipping at your heels, you're going to want to be more aggressive. This kick is high, and it's going to go over the head of Michael Porter and out of the back of the end zone. 20-13 is the score here in the third quarter. About a minute and change.
We're about a minute 14 remaining in the third. Should be interesting to see how this one unfolds here in the last quarter and change, as we say. But if you're Red Bank here, your goal has got to be to, at least, if you don't score, one, get across the 50 to put them in a little bit worse field position. Two, take time off the clock. You haven't really made Signal Mountain. I mean, that first drive, I guess they did drive the length of the field, but you have a little bit of idea of your adjustments that you need to make with the new quarterback.
And Maddox Wilkie in the gun. He's going to hand this off to Strickland. Strickland's going to fight and pick up 2 more yards. The Red Bank's not going to change their game plan for that. I mean, just Strickland was so good earlier in the game. As you mentioned, he was almost on pace to be flirting with a 100-yard performance tonight. He slowed down quite a bit here in the second half, but you just ride your horses on that one. Wilkie in the gun. Hands it off to Strickland again. Strickland going to the right, finding more room, picks up about 6 or 7 yards on the game there. So
they might have to run one more play before the end of the third quarter. I don't know. It depends on when they set the ball.
Yeah, 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Calvin Jackson in at quarterback.
We've seen this before. They run a read option with Calvin Jackson and Lemare Strickland, and they force Signal Mountain to pick their poison on that one.
They definitely do, Keon.
And looks like Red Bank's just going to let the time run out here in the third quarter. So we'll go to the fourth. We're going to go to the fourth. We're going to change sides of the field. Signal Mountain having plenty reason to be hopeful and loud, and the fans certainly are. We're going to kick it back to Sam in the studio. It's our high school presentation of the game of the week here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
The Knife Shop at Frost Colliery, located just off the Ottawa exit of I-75 North, has a complete selection of reloading supplies, a vast array of cutlery and cutlery-related products, handmade local crafted knives from around the world. Check out their vast selection of other collectible items. When you shop at
Score update here. Ray County leading over Walker Valley 49-10 as they're heading into the fourth quarter. And also in other games, Tyner Academy ahead of Polk County 28-7. Let's go back to the fourth quarter action. Here's Keon Rose and Nick LaFew.
It's here at Signal Mountain High School, and we have a rowdy crowd. They're on their feet. The student section is jumping, and honestly, they haven't actually stopped jumping since the second half started.
Yeah, it's been a complete turnaround for Signal Mountain. Now, if you're Red Bank, you really need to convert this third down here and keep moving the football, because now you're flirting with completely collapsing here in the second half. If you're able to drive down the field, though, here at Red Bank, and you take time off the clock and you score, chances are you've won this ball game. But you got to really, really be able to stay on the ground and get consistent back, your consistency back in the run game, to be able to do that, because they're not going to beat you through the air completely. That's not going to happen. Maddox Wilkie's a good quarterback, but that's not their game. That's not their style. Especially with athletes like Lemare Strickland and Calvin Jackson, that's not what they do. And we're just waiting on our TV timeout to end. We got our red hat on the field.
Yeah, he's holding up the stoppage and play here, but full 12 entering the fourth quarter, 20-13, 3rd and 2 for Red Bank High School on the 38, on their own 38.
You know, when I'm at college games, my least favorite person in the whole stadium is the red hat.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's just really frustrating.
I mean, I know that football is a made-for-TV, made-for-radio sport, but man. Snap directly to Calvin Jackson. Jackson breaks through the defensive line and picks up about 10 more yards for a first down, Red Bank High School.
Great. I mean, golly, great job. He sold the fake to Lemare Strickland and had some defenders bite. Takes it right up the middle. Big gain.
Now, on that read option with those two guys, I mean, go ahead and choose which one you want to follow. You make a mistake, and either one of them can make you pay.
Oh, 100%.
Wilkie in the gun. He's got two wide receivers. He's got Strickland beside him, and he's got a couple of tight ends. He hands it off to Strickland. Strickland finding another gap, punching through, picking up about 7 yards on the run.
This is what Red Bank needs to do, because here's where you are able to milk the clock and move the football. If you're able to do this, then again, like I said, all you got to do is take time off the clock and put it in the end zone, and the ball game is over. But you can't score. It's important not to score too quickly, and it's also important to not stall. So you got to find that happy medium, and they're usually pretty good at that.
Man, they've got the personnel to do it. Wilkie, boy, with the hard count, gets Signal Mountain to jump off sides.
Man, that's a frustrating penalty there on Signal Mountain. Just they know what Red Bank wants to do. They want to read it, but a great hard count by Maddox Wilkie gives Red Bank a first down.
10:46 in the game, 20-13. Red Bank over Signal Mountain, scored 3 touchdowns early, and it's been all Signal Mountain ever since. But Red Bank trying to seize this momentum and work this thing to its conclusion. If they can waste time, as you mentioned, and get into the end zone, that could be all that she wrote. Maddox Wilkie in the gun.
They are running that play clock all the way down.
Wilkie takes it and he throws it to his left. Was looking for Lucas Brown. Brown could not hang on, so that's an incomplete pass.
Another drop that's because you try to move before you catch the football. First thing you got to do is catch the football, and Coach Brown throws. They're throwing those quick screens because you're going to at least keep the clocks moving. It's like running the football, but you can't. You got to hold on to the ball.
2nd and 10 on the 50. 20-13 is the score. Maddox Wilkie takes a snap. He's going to go ahead and hand it off to Calvin Jackson. Jackson's going to be bottled up right at the line of scrimmage. He's not going anywhere. Brought down at the left hash mark.
I did say this, though. Red Bank at least needed to get to midfield to be able to pin Signal Mountain and make them at least drive a good portion of the field. They've gotten to that point. Now that you would like, if you're a Red Bank, to at least get a first down here and be able to continue the drive. Signal Mountain was a little confused on defense.
Red Bank, Maddox Wilkie throws it to Jackson, and it bounces out of the bread basket. Incomplete pass. 4th and 11.
Another drop.
And that's Calvin Jackson, uncharacteristic drop.
Here comes Signal Mountain. They're going to get the ball back. Let's see how good of a punt here where they can pin them. Should be, I would say you're probably going to hopefully, if your coverage gets down there, probably around the 20-yard line if you get a good kick here.
4th and 11, and if the punt is any good, we'll see Signal Mountain have to drive the length of the field. They haven't actually had to do that. They've had a couple of short fields to work with, which has helped them in their quarterback situation. This punt actually is deep, and it's about the 10-yard line, and the returner's bringing it back, and he's knocked down, gaining 7 on the return. He's at about the 25.
9.5 minutes remain in the game, and they got to go. Where are they at? About the 30, 25.
Yeah, 25 27 is what's on the scoreboard there.
It's really hard to see at this angle. But if you're Red Bank, you did a little bit of what you needed to do there. You wanted it not to stall out. But now Signal Mountain again, another big stop. This is a completely different Signal Mountain team that's come out in the second half.
It is. I mean, both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Not that their defense played poorly in the first half, but they've really stepped up to fix the margin that comes with entering a second half with no points. That defense has kept Red Bank off the field, kept them to short possessions, slowed down Calvin Jackson and Lumiere Strickland, which are the best you can do is slow those guys down. And then offensively, they've been able to make enough plays to get on the board.
Exactly. And if you're Signal Mountain here, you just got to keep doing what you've been doing in the second half. Keep riding that momentum, and hopefully you'll be able to drive down the field, score, take the lead with just a couple of minutes left. And Red Bank's not going to be able to really. They haven't shown, at least all night tonight, that they're not really able to stretch the field and move the ball quickly down the field. So we'll see what they're able to do.
They haven't had to stretch the field very much. So they did convert on a 2nd and 15 earlier in the game, 17-yard pickup, and they had no business picking that up, and they were able to find a soft spot in Signal Mountain's defense. So when they've had to, they have. But in the second half, we haven't seen any of that at all. 20-13 is the score of this game. 9:27 remaining in it. 1st and 10 on the 27. Signal Mountain. And Drew Lowry in at quarterback, the wide receiver DB playing QB. And he's got 3 wide receivers and Andrew Eckner in the backfield. And it's a jet sweep. Receiver's going to turn the corner, and Red Bank's going to sniff it out and stop it.
Great eye discipline there by the second level of Red Bank to read that jet sweep. Stayed home, closed the lanes off, nothing there. They got a couple of yards. But good job by Red Bank sniffing that one out.
Right outside linebacker Ashton Tubbs on the tackle, senior. 9 minutes remaining in the game. Ball on the 29-yard line. And Red Bank knows pretty much that Signal Mountain wants to run the ball, but they can throw it. And they've been with the ball. Drew Lowry on
there,
the keeper, and he's found nothing.
Now you're 3rd and 9. You're really behind the sticks, and don't really know that this bodes well for the style of quarterback that Lowry is. Although he did, to his credit, made a great throw on that slant pattern that scored the touchdown for Malone Howley. So maybe Drew is able to throw a little bit more than we thought, and it's just a little bit different to see him back there.
Lowry in the gun. He's got 4 wide receivers. Eckner just to his right. He's looking. He throws it to Eckner, and it's behind Eckner.
Okay, yeah. So you're just under 8 minutes. You got plenty of time. You want to punt the ball here. You don't want to do anything stupid. And, you punt the ball and you do everything you can. So, and just continue to hope that your defense continues to play like they have. They've found something to be able to slow down the Red Bank rushing attack, and you just hope that it's able to continue. I did notice that Signal Mountain has brought their outside linebackers in their 3-down linemen. What they usually do is the 3-down linemen, and they brought in their 2 outside linebackers to make it a little bit more difficult for them to run.
This punt is high, and it's got distance, and Michael Porter shoos everyone away from it. He didn't see it was returnable. I think that was a smart decision on his part as well. 20-13.
Very, very good decision. Now Red Bank gets the ball. They have to go the length of the field. They're at the 27-yard line.
So the pressure isn't on Red Bank.
No, not at all.
They just have to get across 50 again and burn some more clock. And every second that they burn is just more and more in their advantage.
I think you saw for the first time this half, Red Bank really has started to make the adjustments that they need to make defensively to slow down Drew Lowry, and so I think that has been positive for them. So we'll see. We're at just under 8 minutes remaining in the game. I guarantee you, what you're wanting to see here is Jackson ball, Strickland ball, Jackson ball, Strickland ball.
And Maddox Wilkie's going to keep it. He's looking downfield. He throws it up ahead to Clark Lockerbie, and Lockerbie's going to pick up 6 yards on the catch.
Well, interesting. Play action. Good call. Hits the tight end just on a little drag route. Beautiful play. 6 yards, put you ahead of the sticks. Now you can run.
And no doubt that they will. They have Lemire Strickland in the backfield, who is just having a monster night.
Yeah, I'd love to see his stats on the night.
Wilkie trying to draw Signal Mountain offside. Not going to work this time. Wilkie takes it, looks right, throws right, hits Brown, and Brown gets hit by Malone Howley. And Howley, after taking the shot,
cramped up.
Looks like a cramp. Looks like a painful cramp, too.
Yeah, either the calf or the hamstring of his left leg. Yeah.
After the great tackle by Howley, he's writhing in pain on the field, so they're going to take a minute here. We're going to kick it back to Sam in the studio during this injury for an update on the scoreboard. You're listening to our high school presentation, the game of the week, here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
All right, guys. Sounds like you've got an interesting ball game. Here's a couple of finals that have already came in. Ray County, the Golden Eagles go to 2-0 on the year, and they defeated Walker Valley 49-10. Walker Valley drops to 0-3. Ray County will be traveling to McMinn County next Friday night. Also, Whitwell defeated Copper Basin 54-0. Copper Basin drops to 0-3. Whitwell goes to 3-0 on the season. Those are just some of the finals that are coming in here to the Nuga Radio Sports Center. Let's kick it back to Keon and Nick for Red Bank and Signal Mountain. Take it away, guys.
Malone Howley got up and walked off the field, so that's Always great to see whenever an injured player stands up and walks off under his own power. We did see that it was pretty clearly a cramp, but he's a pretty important defensive player for them. I mean, he's a player that's important on both sides of the ball because he had a big first down earlier as a receiver as well. So this is going to be tough. Just adding a bit more pressure to Signal Mountain, more pressure than they actually wanted or needed. Ball on the 34-yard line, 3rd and 3. Calvin Jackson now back at quarterback. He's in the gun. And he's going to fake the handoff to Strickland and keep it himself and push forward for what looks like a first down.
Another great play. Calvin Jackson just able to really find holes that really aren't there as they tick that clock almost under 7 minutes with 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Red Bank just chewing that clock.
About 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 20-13 is the score. 1st and 10, ball on the 37. Red Bank marching and burning clock. And check that is actually less than 7 minutes here in the fourth. Wilkie looks right, looks left, runs left, and picks up 3 yards. Dragged down from behind.
Smart play. Didn't see anything open downfield. Able to pick up a little bit, not get sacked, and not stop the clock. Smart play. Continue to roll that clock if you're Red Bank.
That is something that is underrated about Maddox Wilkie is that his legs. He's not the fastest quarterback, but he's fast enough. And the fact that he can beat you with his arm opens up a running lane or two for him, and he picks up 2 or 3 yards whenever the Lions need him to. Maddox Wilkie now looking at the sideline. He's in the shotgun. He's got 3 wide receivers, and Lemire Strickland standing to his right. He gets the snap, hands it off to Strickland. Strickland goes to the left and crosses and picks up 3 more yards.
Doing what you need to do. You're under 6 minutes now. You're rolling that clock. You're at 3rd and half. You're at manageable here. You got to probably put the ball in the air. Actually, you know what? Check that. I'd probably still run the ball here. If you pick it up, you pick it up. If you don't, you don't. But I would definitely just try to pick up the time here.
Ball on the 41, 3rd and 6. Wilkie in the gun. Strickland. He's the horse for today. I mean, he's just carried this load, and it's going to be a pitch, and Wilkie pitches it out to Strickland, who got it, rushes forward, and has about a yard extra on the first down.
Unbelievable. Good play call there. Just a little delayed pitch action. It was not really an option, so don't believe it was. It was just a delayed pitch action. Sold the option. First down. Red Bank running a clock. You can, Dave, probably on this, if you just don't even get a first down here, you can roll it under probably under 3 minutes. So even if you don't get a first down here.
Ball on the 47 for Red Bank.
Calvin
Jackson keeps it, stays on his feet, makes a man miss, and is brought down for a pickup of 5 yards. Checking down.
Keep chugging away if you're Red Bank. Doesn't matter how big you win. You just want to win this ball game. I think if you talk to Coach Brown, he's going to tell you maybe we shouldn't have got as conservative as we did, but now you've bought into it. You've done that. Now you just got to continue to eat that clock and win this ball game on the ground.
And you mentioned earlier that timing is just a huge part of it. Sometimes being conservative is a matter of when you choose to do it. Wilkie throws it, and it's knocked out of the air. Will Bennett on defense, linebacker.
Not really sure I understand that play call there.
I mean, it unfortunately stops the clock for Red Bank. It's one of those situations where Red Bank trying to be very aggressive. But Signal Mountain, Will Bennett sniffing it out. Maddox Wilkie trying to draw him off sides again. The discipline for Signal Mountain. No one's moving. He gets the snap. He hands it off to Strickland, and Strickland powers through the line and picks up a first down running towards his right on the near hash mark.
It's going to make it tough. Now you're going to you're going to be able, if you are Red Bank, to continue to run the clock on this set of downs. I don't think you got to slow the football.
They really don't have to. I mean, you have Calvin Jackson now in at quarterback, and Lemire Strickland, who's just been unstoppable tonight for most of the night. You just don't have to throw the ball.
No, it's
too risky. You don't have much to gain from it. Jackson in the gun, 1st and 10, ball on the 44 in Signal Mountain territory. He hands it off to Strickland. No, he keeps it and falls forward, picks up a yard.
Yeah, probably shouldn't even made that out of it. And good little run by Strickland, or by Calvin Jackson. 2nd and 9. Good stop by Signal Mountain, though. That was very good. That was very good discipline on their backers to not fly with Strickland, who's torched them a little bit on this drive. Good job there. Maddox Wilkie back in at quarterback.
3 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Signal Mountain trailing 20-13. And Red Bank is trying to close them out, driving up the field and burning as much clock as humanly possible. And Wilkie's going to hand it off to Strickland, who escapes one tackler, who grabs his leg, and he lunges forward and picks up about 3 yards.
And that's going to be a timeout. Signal Mountain, he had to start thinking about using those.
I mean, you have to start using those, and you have to get a stop.
This is the perfect time to do so. You're at 3rd and about 7. Interesting choice here. What do you do if you're Red Bank? Do you run the ball? If you don't get the first down, force Signal Mountain to use their last time out, and then punt them and try to pin them deep and make them go the length of the field without a timeout? Or do you try to put the ball in the air and get the first down? It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do. Me personally, I'd run the ball, force them to call a timeout.
I agree with you.
And then make them tie this ball game up.
And I know last week we saw Central actually do it. But you just have a guy that plays wide receiver and DB and a quarterback in Drew Lowry for Signal Mountain. I want to force that guy to beat me.
Yeah, you got to. And so I force Signal Mountain to take a timeout. And then, heck, you get a good run and you get a first down, and then the ball game's effectively over.
And that's the situation the Red Bank is trying to put Signal Mountain in. Signal Mountain is trying to avoid that situation. They need to stop here. If they get the stop and get a good return on the punt, I mean, they've got every bit of signs of life, and maybe that missed extra point comes back and haunts Red Bank. I mean, that is something that is going to play a factor coming down the stretch.
Yeah, they were lucky Signal Mountain missed their first extra point. Otherwise, it could really play a big factor.
I know Chris Brown. I know he doesn't want to go to another overtime. Look, it was magical the first time. This time, it'd be a little more frustrating than anything.
Oh, 100%. 100% it would. And so I don't know what his plan is here. I run the football. I mean, that's just me, and then maybe that's the conservative old school guy in me, but I run the football, force their hand. And maybe he throws it here, but I make Signal Mountain force their hand here, or make them show their hand. So let's see what they do.
And Maddox Wilkie in the gun, 3 wide receivers, but never mind that. Lemire Strickland is the man in the backfield that we're all concerned with, because he's more than likely going to get the ball. And he does. They hand it off to Strickland, and Strickland lunges forward, but he's driven backwards. Signal Mountain defense standing tall and driving Lemire Strickland backwards in a big stop for the Eagles.
It is. You got 2:38. They just took their last timeout, so no more timeouts. No more timeouts for Signal Mountain. Remember, they called that timeout in the 3rd quarter towards the end there. Ended up working. They scored a touchdown on that play after they called the timeout. However, now if you're Red Bank, you want to pin them deep, and you want to make them drive the whole length of the field in 2.5 minutes. That's tough. That's tough to do.
We have another injured player down for Signal Mountain as both teams are on the sidelines here. And we mentioned this at halftime. Like, to be able to get back into this game and to even realistically have a chance, pretty much everything was going to have to break Signal Mountain's way, and it has. And it's really unbelievable. It's a testament to Coach Roberts and these kids and how they have a desire to fight and really will themselves into a ball game that it looked like they were dead to rights in.
Oh yeah, for sure. No matter the outcome of this game, Signal Mountain's got to be proud of the effort they came out with in the second half. But golly, if they could just come out with that effort in the first half.
4th and 9 on the 43. Red Bank attempting to pin Signal Mountain in deep and force them to drive the length of the field. This punt is high and it is deep. And that one fielded around the 15-yard line and immediately contacted and brought down.
Clark Lockerbie, great play, great coverage.
And Lockerbie, by the way, is the guy for Red Bank. Doesn't get enough credit for what it is that he does, just because you will get overshadowed by the Calvin Jacksons and the Lemire Stricklands of the world. But he blocks for them a lot of the time, and he makes some plays in the passing game. But as a special teamer, Lockerbie's special.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
2:30 remaining in the game, and Lockerbie making a big-time play for Red Bank. Signal Mountain's going to have to drive the length of the field, and they're going to really test this defense and really test the discipline of the Red Bank Lions.
Don't think Michael Porter's going to be playing safety.
I don't think so. I think they're going to keep him at his natural position of defensive back, and Lowry's going to roll out of the pocket, rolling right, throwing across his body, and that one's going to go over the head of the defensive back, Kel Eden, who was trying to track it down.
Smart play there to make sure instead of getting sacked, he just throws an incompletion. Because one, it stops the clock. 2, you don't lose yardage.
2nd and 10, ball on the 15. 20-13, Red Bank over Signal Mountain, and Signal Mountain has the entire length of the field to go. 2:22. Drew Lowry, the wide receiver and a quarterback, and he's made some things happen since he's been in, but unfortunately, he hasn't been able to vertically challenge Red Bank.
Clark Lockerbie, another great play.
Lockerbie breaks up the pass there.
3rd and 10. You got 2 downs to get 10 yards.
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station.
Chattanooga Radio 92.7.
13, 3rd and 10. Red Bank 3 touchdowns early to get a wide open lead and clawing back into the game. Signal Mountain and the Eagles, led by Drew Lowry, a quarterback, and now he's in trying to make a miracle happen. He's standing in the backfield. He rolls out to his right, chased by defenders. Jaden High on his heels. He throws a deep ball, and it slips right in the fingers of his receiver, right off the far sideline. I mean, the accuracy on that was alarming.
He put it where only his guy could get it. That was impressive. 4th and 10, 2:10 to go. You got to go for it. You don't have any timeouts left. Red Bank makes a stop here, and the ball game's over.
And to be fair to that receiver, that's still a difficult catch to make.
Oh, 100%. It's a difficult catch. It's just.
I think it was Travion Williams.
It was, but you want to. He went right through his hands. He wished he'd had it back. It is a tough catch, but he knows he should have made the catch.
He's certainly talented enough to hang on to throws like that. 2:10 remaining in the fourth. 4th and 10. They need a first down. Lowry throwing out to the sideline. Can you believe it? Malone hangs on. Another Signal Mountain Eagles. They're hanging on for dear life.
They are. 2:04 remaining, and he got out of bounds.
Stop the clock and everything. I mean, you look at Drew Lowry, you can't do anything but just be amazed at what this guy is doing in this game.
Yard line, first down and 10.
He's come in. He's playing a position that's not naturally his position, and he's making plays. I mean, he's rolling out. He's throwing across his body. He picks up the first down, and Howley has been a huge factor in this. And Lowry chased down from behind. Jaden High. Of course, who else? We talk about the usual suspects on the defensive side of the ball.
There he is, Jaden High.
I mean, and we talked about this in the Gridiron game show. I mean, Jaden High has
sophomore.
He's a sophomore. He's going to be terrorizing teams for 2 more years. But he's already so physically gifted, and Lowry running away from High, escapes the pressure. Lowry takes off. He's going to tuck it and keep it. He's running. Maybe he fumbles it out of bounds, and I thought maybe he had a lane.
Coming back on a blindside block. I thought it was a clean block, but that's what they threw the flags for.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen some of these blocks. They can be frustrating. You see a quarterback, or not even just a quarterback. We saw it last week with Michael Porter, just reversing field. And these blocks, I mean, it's hard to see. I know they want to protect the kids, but you could potentially call that any time ball carrier reverses field.
Yeah, and I understand, again, it's a safety thing, but you got to keep your head on a swivel. And I thought it was a good block. Now they're second, and Red Bank, they got to go all the way down the mountain here to score or to get a first down.
Looks like a minute 24. They're second and 23rd, ball on the 15, fourth quarter. Lowry's been keeping them alive, but this is a lot to ask, and the pass is behind Howley. 3rd and 23. 20-13 is your score. Red Bank leading Signal Mountain. They've led all game, never trailed. And they're trying to continue that trend. They don't want to tie. I think one overtime is good enough for them in a 2-week span.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Coach Brown's heart needs to not go to overtime.
I mean, he's one of the younger coaches in the area, but that'll age you.
Yeah, it'll age you quick. He's going to have a lot of gray hair before too long. He's already got a kid.
Lowry in the gun, looks to his right, steps up in the pocket, throws to the fingertips of Howley. That would have been a first down if he could have reeled it in.
What a great route by Howley. He just didn't complete the catch. What a wonderful route, though. 4th and
3rd and 23. Howley in the skinny post just wasn't able to hang on. What a throw by Lowry. I mean, Lowry's been showing he's got an arm.
He does. That is for sure.
I mean, that would explain, I guess, why he was next down on the depth chart. But, man, he was a wide receiver, and honestly, he's had way more of an impact on this game as QB.
Timeout, Red Bank.
And Red Bank's going to call another timeout. 4th and 23. They want this to end right here. You can't have mental errors. You can't have mistakes. I think this is a good timeout. We're going to kick it back to the studio, and Sam Jordan, you're listening to our high school football presentation, the game of the week here on 27 FM.
Thanks very much, guys. Here's a look at some scores. There are finals. East Hamilton edged out East Ridge 23-6. East Hamilton goes to 2-1 on the year. East Ridge dropping to 0-3. Ray County, the Golden Eagles winning 49-10 over Walker Valley. Ray County goes to 2-0. Walker Valley dropping to 0-3. Meigs County defeated Cumberland Gap 40-6. It was Tyner Academy defeating Polk County 35-7. Both teams now go to 2-1 on the year. And Whitwell 61-0 over Copper Basin. Whitwell goes to 3-0. Copper Basin to 0-3. And one other final, Chattanooga Christian defeated Silverdale Baptist 42-6. More scores coming your way here in the 5th quarter show. Back to Keon and Nick.
You're listening to Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM. It's the high school game of the week, 20-13. Red Bank over Signal Mountain. We thought this one might be over early, but it actually has turned into a very fun and very interesting game here.
Another good game for us, Keon.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's us.
I think it is us.
Got to be.
I'm going to claim that. We carry the luck of the good game. 20-13, 4th and 23, ball on the 15. Lowry in the backfield escapes some pressure, gets out of the arms of High. The pass is caught, but well short of even the original line of scrimmage. That'll be a turnover on downs. Red Bank's going to get this one back. Well,
oh no,
we have a face mask. Hold on. I mean, now they're walking the ball up. We're going to repeat. We're going to repeat 4th down, but it'll be 4th and much more manageable. They won't have to pick up their first down at the bottom of the mountain, like you said earlier.
Yeah, now they're just.
Penalty is a personal foul, face mask, 15-yard penalty from the call of foul. Replay, 4th down.
15-yard penalty.
And some of these people that have left may decide to change their mind.
Yeah, you might want to come back for this one. 4th and 8. Ball around the 30.
Clock's running. They're under a minute. They got to go.
Yeah, Lowry gets it. He's rolling out to his right. No timeouts for Signal Mountain. And he's got a man. He wasn't able to hang on to it.
Oh, no, they said he did.
They said he did. Oh, and Honroth, but they need to go.
45-8. They'll set the change. The clock will move. The clock will move on the change. You got to be ready.
Got to be ready.
Signal Mountain.
45 seconds, and they're trying to get in formation. They've got 4 wide receivers. The clock's going to restart here.
They spike it.
And they spiked it, which, unbelievable. I mean, they are at the 48. The fact that they are even at midfield is amazing when you consider that they were just a few moments ago on a 4th and 23. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Signal Mountain is fighting for everything that they have, and with under a minute to go, they're still very much alive.
Yeah, it's just tough because you got to get to the end zone. You're still 49 yards away, 44.9 seconds. If you're Red Bank, you just make sure they don't get in the end zone.
And Drew Lowry looking right, pumps right, throws right.
Almost intercepted.
Nearly intercepted. And who was that on defense?
Of course it was.
Michael Porter. Our apparently all-world defensive back. He seems to be all over the place. Anytime a pass is broken up, oh, look, it's Michael Porter. No, that's great defense by him, but 3rd and 10 is what's brought up here. 48-yard line in Red Bank territory, 20-13. Signal Mountain came charging back in this game after being down by 20 points, and they are still very much alive. There's 40-some-odd seconds.
41.2, I think.
Yeah, that's true, because the scoreboard seems to have trouble with ones. So
I'm learning the scoreboard here.
Signal Mountain, Drew Lowry in the gun. He's got 4 wide receivers. He's looking to his right. He throws right. Michael Porter's trying to play center fielder under it, and he just tripped and lost his footing. There's 35 seconds left in this game.
4th down again.
4th and 10, and it doesn't seem to have stopped Drew Lowry and Signal Mountain before. They don't seem to be afraid of 4th downs at all.
No, and if you're Chris Brown at Red Bank, you got to be pulling your hair out. Like, guys, get off the field.
I mean, they play stellar defense for 3 downs.
And then 4th down, it just falls apart.
4th down
and 10. And again, credit Coach Roberts.
Yeah, I mean, he's dialing up the right plays when he has to.
On 4th down, there's always somebody open. But if you're Red Bank, this is your waking nightmare. Drew Lowry in the gun. He's got 4 receivers. He's looking downfield. And pass bouncing just off the hands of Travion Williams.
Another drop for both teams. I mean, the drops in this game by both teams have just been unbelievable.
And truly, truly heartbreaking because that would have been a 1st down. And Williams has played his heart out today. not to get down on him. That's just one that he wishes he had back.
Yeah, that one was, and it was a bullet. I mean, it was a hard thrown ball.
And that is a tough one to grab onto if it's not placed perfectly out in front of you. That one can be tough. 20-13 is the score, and with 30 seconds left, we're expecting Red Bank to run this one out and end it.
Yeah, Red Bank's just got to take a knee and it's over. And Chris Brown goes to 2-0 and 1-0 in the region, and that's a big win for them.
Yeah, Signal Mountain falling to 0-3 as Red Bank gets in the victory formation. And again, we saw tonight what this team is capable of, and maybe moving forward they choose to roll with Drew Lowry at quarterback because they were able to see a whole lot.
For sure, I think that's definitely the case. Credit to Red Bank, they stayed the course, they won the game, but my goodness, all the credit in the world to Signal Mountain for coming back to fight hard, to try to make this a ball game, and they did. And I don't think either side can be too disappointed. If you're Signal Mountain, you just wish you could have that first half back. But what a great game, another good one. 20-13, Red Bank improves to 2-0, and I mean they're ready to try to make a run again, and so they got 7 games left to try to do so.
Back-to-back thrillers here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. 20-13, Red Bank improving to 2-0. Signal Mountain falling to 0-3. We're going to kick it back to Sam Jordan in the studio. You're listening to our production of the Game of the Week here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Rick is buying and selling a woman's best friend, diamonds. Stop in now and check out the wide selection from Chattanooga's premier jeweler, Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga. Before you buy, let Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds create that special gift for you. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
The 25th anniversary of the Trail of Tears Memorial Motorcycle Ride comes to Chattanooga Saturday, September 15th. Join the pre-ride kickoff party at Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga, Friday the 14th, starting at 4. We'll see you there.
Friday night high school football here on Nuga Radio continues as we're in the 5th quarter show. And our final score, Red Bank 20, Signal Mountain 13. Red Bank goes to 2-0, Signal Mountain dropping to 0-3, but we've got other games that have went final. East Hamilton defeating East Ridge 23-6. Ray County over Walker Valley 49-10. Meigs County over Cumberland Gap 40-6. Tyner Academy upsetting Polk County. Polk County started out strong this season, but they dropped their first game, losing to Tyner 35-7. Whitwell over Copper Basin, 61-0. Right now, we've got a close one with Ottawa just barely ahead of their opponent in Bradley Central. Right now, 28-27 in the 4th quarter late. Let's kick it back over to Keon Rose and Nick LaFew for a wrap-up of their game with some of the highlights of tonight's contest. Keon, Nick?
Thanks, Sam. We're still at Signal Mountain High School, where Red Bank has come out on top in this matchup of rivals, 20-13. Red Bank getting the better of Signal Mountain early and hanging on to win that football game, even though Signal Mountain came screaming back in the second half to try and steal one victory away. But they fall to 0-3, and Red Bank improving to 2-0. Head coach Chris Brown winning his first 2 games as Red Bank head coach. And Nick, this game looked like it was going to be out of hand early, but Signal Mountain made it interesting.
Yeah, they did. I was impressed with what Signal Mountain did. I think the adjustments that Coach Roberts made at halftime were great. They did some great things on defense. They moved their outside linebackers in a little bit to give them 5 men right in the box, basically on the line of scrimmage, to slow down that Red Bank run in the 3rd quarter. They made the change at quarterback. Obviously, that was a big momentum shift, and Drew Lowry played a heck of a half at quarterback, and they may have themselves a little bit of a quarterback situation going forward. But I think Signal Mountain is a lot better than that first half that they played, and I think Red Bank's a lot better than the second half that they played. So it was definitely a tale of two halves. Red Bank hangs on, wins 20-13, and Signal Mountain, got to give them a lot of credit. They fought hard.
One of the things that I'm also interested in too is where Signal Mountain goes from here. Like we mentioned before, they're 0-3. This season is it's in a tough place for them, but there are some bright spots moving forward for Coach Roberts and this Eagles team.
Yeah, there are, and you're 0-3, and that's tough. But you're only 0-1 in the region, so you got a lot of work you can do, and you can get better, and you can have a better rest of your season, and you still have a chance to make the playoffs. So they're not out of it yet, and we'll see what Signal Mountain can do going forward.
And Drew Lowry stepped in, played huge at quarterback. I mean, he came in and gave this team the kick in the pants that it needed to get going in the second half. But we had another thrilling game here. We're excited to do these every week, and we're looking forward to next week's matchup. But thank you for joining us for this presentation that we've had so far of the high school football game of the week here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. We're going to toss it back to Sam. He's going to have highlights and scores in the fifth quarter show. Sam, the floor is all yours.
All right. Thanks, guys. Great job. You always bring us the good games of the week, and we've got more for you on the fifth quarter show coming your way in just a moment. Back with more in a moment.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
The rumors are true. We've opened a Starbucks at 10 North, 20 Cherokee Boulevard on the North Shore, and we're more than just what we brew. We're your new North Shore neighborhood living room, a gathering place, a part of your daily routine, with a warm atmosphere, a spacious patio, convenient complimentary parking, and a full Starbucks food and beverage menu, including the new Nitro Cold Brew. We're a coffee experience, and we make sure everything we do is through the lens of community and contributing value to our vibrant neighborhood. Open daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. We look forward to serving you. Starbucks North Shore, inspiring and nurturing the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore, locally owned and operated by Vision Hospitality Group.
When it comes to sports, you can count on great, exciting sports action on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Thank you very much. It's the fifth quarter show here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. Sam Jordan, the host of the fifth quarter show. Final just coming in. Dalton edged out Northwest Whitfield 24-14. Ottawa holds on to complete the comeback after senior Peter Dyer picked off Standifer with 30 seconds left. Final score, Ottawa 28, Bradley Central 27. Yeah, it's a pretty climactic finish in itself. But we had a dandy of a game with Red Bank and Signal Mountain. Red Bank holding on for the win, 20-13 over Signal Mountain. Red Bank now going to 2-0, Signal Mountain at 0-3. Marist, Georgia, coming to Chattanooga to take on the Baylor squad, and Baylor, who got a upset win over Notre Dame in week 1 during the Erlanger Kickoff Classic. Right now trailing, last score that we have, 33-7, Marist, Georgia over Baylor, and that's in the fourth quarter. Chattanooga Central holding on right now in the fourth over Sequoia out of Madisonville by a score of 7-0. East Hamilton defeated East Ridge tonight, 23-6. And East Ridge will be one of the teams that will be in our featured game of the week next week. They will be traveling over to Brainerd for that matchup, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a little bit. Other scores to report. Ray County, the Golden Eagles going to 2-0 on the season after defeating Walker Valley, who drops to 0-3 by a score of 49-10. Right now, Ray County will be traveling to McMinn County for another matchup in that 5A Region 4 division. It is Ottawa, as we said, defeating Bradley Central after that pick with 30 seconds left in the game. Ottawa holding on to a 28-27 victory So the bus ride back from Bradley Central will be a joyous one for the Owls as they move on and become a 2-1 team. Bradley Central dropping to 1-2 on the season. Meigs County defeating Cumberland Gap tonight 40-6. It was Tyner Academy defeating Polk County 35-7. Polk County was 2-0 going into this contest. Tyner coming in at 1-1. Both teams now at 2-1 on the season. Whitwell improving to 3-0 on the season after their 61-0 shellacking of Copper Basin. Copper Basin dropping to 0-3 on the year. Dalton, as we said, defeated Northwest Whitfield 24-14. Chattanooga Christian goes to 2-1 on the year after defeating Silverdale Baptist 42-6. All right, let's go back over some other scores. The game's still in progress. Montgomery Bell Academy over McCauley right now 21-0. It's Marion County over Bledsoe County 22-14 in a 2A Region 3 contest. Lookout Valley right now leading Jellicoe 21-0. South Pittsburgh with a 35-0 lead over Sale Creek at last report. And let's see here. Tryon over Dade County right now 7-0 at last report. Sweetwater over McMinn Central 22-0. Grace Christian out of Knoxville leading over Boyd Buchanan 42-0. York Institute over Grundy County 21-0 at last report. So we've got quite a few games that are still in progress here on the fifth quarter show. We've got more to talk about when we come back. We'll talk about next week's game with East Ridge and Brainerd. When we return, you're listening to the fifth quarter show on Friday Night Football on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
The 25th anniversary of the Trail of Tears Memorial Motorcycle Ride comes to Chattanooga Saturday, September 15th. Join the pre-ride kickoff party at Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga Friday the 14th, starting at 4. We'll see you there.
Hear that? It's not what you think. That, my friend, is the new 2018 Indian Chieftain Dark Horse. Yes, Indian Motorcycle. It's more than a bike. It's an American icon. And Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga is the only place you'll find their new 2018 line. There's also a great selection of pre-owned bikes ready to roll and all the gear you need to hit the open road. If you're thinking of joining the club, go to Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga. Just look at the sign on 153 in Amnicola. Indian Motorcycle, the true American original.
We'll wrap things up next on the fifth quarter show.
Friday night high school football, the fifth quarter show, continuing here on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. Our final of our game tonight, Red Bank holding on and defeating Signal Mountain 20-13. Red Bank had jumped out to a 20-0 lead in the second quarter and took that into halftime. Then all of a sudden in the third quarter, Signal Mountain decided, we are here at the game. We might as well play and see what we can do here. But it was Red Bank holding on, winning 20-13 over Signal Mountain. Red Bank jumping out to a 2-0 record on their season. The reason why? Saudi Daisy and Red Bank's game was canceled in week 1 due to the torrential downpours that we had in the region and was not able to play that game anywhere. Even up at Saudi Daisy. Ottawa holding on to complete the comeback after senior Peter Dyer picking off Standifer with 30 seconds left. And Ottawa holds on at Bradley Central with a 28-27 victory. So Ottawa looking really good. They go to 2-1. Bradley Central dropping to 1-2 on the year. As we mentioned earlier, final down at Northwest Whitfield, Dalton winning 24-14 in their contest there. East Hamilton over the Pioneers of East Ridge, 23-6. East Hamilton goes to 2-1 on the year. East Ridge at 0-3. Walker Valley drops to 0-3 after their 49-10 defeat by the hands of Ray County. The Golden Eagles will be traveling to McMinn County next Friday night. And also, Meigs County getting the victory over Cumberland Gap by a score of 40-6. Tyner Academy, who started off with a loss to start their season, but Tyner all of a sudden now is making some waves They won 2 in a row now after defeating Polk County, who started out 2-0, and Tyner Academy winning 35-7 in their contest tonight. Copper Basin, one of those teams that's like Walker Valley. Well, Woodwell had their hands where they were able to get a lot of different scores, and Woodwell ends up winning 61-0 in a 1A Region 3 game. Dalton, as we said, 24-14 victors over Northwest Whitfield. It was Chattanooga Christian defeating Silverdale Baptist 42-6. Chattanooga Christian jumping out to a 2-1 record. And try to get you updated. South Pittsburgh defeating Sale Creek 49-0. So South Pittsburgh rolling on, having another great season, and getting the big victory there over Sale Creek, who started out with victory on the season, and they have since dropped 2 in a row. So South Pittsburgh is now at 3-0, and Sale Creek drops to 1-2 on the season. All right, more scores coming your way here as they come in. Coach Matt Land leading Dalton to that win over Northwest Whitfield. That's always been a huge rivalry in Northwest Georgia. And so Coach Land getting that victory over Northwest Whitfield tonight. Dalton High School doing pretty good here this season. Other Georgia teams in action tonight. Tryon leading Dade County right now 7-0. It is, hold on here. Well, that's the latest we have of the Georgia schools, but plenty more to talk about. And we've got that coming your way here in just a few moments. So stick around. You're listening to the Fifth Quarter Show here on Nougat Radio 92.7 FM.
Nougat Radio 92.7.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, Rick is buying and selling a woman's best friend, diamonds. Stop in now and check out the wide selection from Chattanooga's premier jeweler, Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga. Before you buy, let Rick Davis Golden Diamonds create that special gift for you. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
The 25th anniversary of the Trail of Tears Memorial Motorcycle Ride comes to Chattanooga Saturday, September 15th. Join the pre-ride kickoff party at Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga Friday the 14th, starting at 4. We'll see you there.
All right, Friday night high school football continues here. A couple more finals coming in. To tell you about here as we maneuver over. Lookout Valley defeating Jellicoe 42-0. It was Tryon defeating Dade County 21-0. Chattanooga Christian final score of 42-6 over Silverdale Baptist, as we mentioned earlier. Also, other finals: Meigs County over Cumberland Gap 40-6. Woodwell over Copper Basin 61-0. Still a lot of other games going on, including Lafayette and Gordon Lee. Lafayette leading, last report, 21-0. That being played at Gordon Lee. Also, Marist, Georgia, defeating right now Baylor 33-7 at last report. Montgomery Bell Academy over McCauley right now 21-0. That's still in action. Sweetwater and McMinn Central. Sweetwater leading 22-0 at last report. Ottawa, as we told you, defeating Bradley Central 28-27 on a interception with 30 seconds to go. Ottawa was able to hold on with that narrow escape of wizardry there. Calhoun leading Thorell 38-6. Chattanooga Central leading over Sequoia Madisonville 7-0. Tyner defeated Polk County 35-7. Ray County over Walker Valley 49-10. Dalton, as we told you, getting the victory tonight 24-14. Grace Christian out of Knoxville leading Boyd Buchanan, last report 42-7. Marion County, and this is what you got to love about live radio as we're looking here real quick, leading at last report 22-14. So a lot of close action with some of these games that we have going on. We're going to take a look at the standings with the score that we getting updates and stuff on. But as we told you throughout the evening, some of these teams that are going on to 3-0, not a whole lot of them at this time. Red Bank now at 2-0. Ray County going to 2-0 on the season. Then you've also got South Pittsburgh leading, getting their third victory of the season, along with Whitwell, and a couple of schools like Chattanooga Christian, Tyner Academy, Polk County, all at 2-1 on the season. Ottawa going to 2-1. East Hamilton now at 2-1. And there's still a lot of games out there that need to be finished yet here tonight. There's a lot of interesting games that will be coming up next week, including Marion County and South Pittsburgh. That is always a huge game. Grundy County and Bledsoe County will be battling it out. Chattanooga Christian, Lookout Valley, be another contest. Boyd Buchanan and Battleground Academy. Meigs County and Sequatchie County. Just some of the games that will be going on next week, but we'll bring you East Ridge and Brainerd next Friday night with the countdown to kickoff beginning at 7 o'clock here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, the Breakfast Blitz with Nick LeFew. That'll get underway at 8 a.m. And then at 10 a.m. will be the premiere of We Got You Covered Radio. Scott Schrader from Chattanooga Roofing Contractors will be hosting that show, brand new show here on Nuga Radio. And tune in if you've got questions about your home. If you're needing to get some things done, home improvement tips or questions, you can always call in with those questions or comments. And Scott and his excellent array of team experts will be able to help you in regards to your home improvement or remodeling needs. Or if you got a question, I've got a dripping faucet. What should I do? Well, there's a couple of things that you could possibly do, and Scott can give you those answers as well. So that's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., right after the Breakfast Blitz with Nick LeFew here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. All right, we're going to go back and look at the scoreboard once again. I know you may get tired of hearing some of these, but we still got a lot of games that are coming in as we speak. With tonight's contest. And let's go over that scoreboard. Our game of the week had Red Bank holding on late in the game, defeating Signal Mountain 20-13. It was East Hamilton over East Ridge 23-6. Ray County over Walker Valley 49-10. Ottawa holding on after an interception with 30 seconds left in the game, defeating Bradley Central by a score of 28-27. Meigs County defeated Cumberland Gap 40-6. It was Tyner Academy over Polk County 35-7. Lookout Valley defeated Jellicoe 42-0. South Pittsburgh over Sale Creek 49-0. Whitwell defeated Copper Basin 61-0. Dalton edging out Northwest Whitfield by 10, 24-14. It was Chattanooga Christian over Silverdale Baptist 42-6. Tryon defeated Dade County 21-0. Still a lot of games still left on the schedule here tonight that have not finished, including Marist, Georgia, and Baylor. Last report, Marist was leading Baylor 33-7. Anderson County and Hickson also in action tonight. No score on that game. Been trying to find that one somewhere out there, but and also Lenore City and Soddy Daisy haven't been able to get a score on that one. Cannon County is at Sequatchie County over in Dunlap. No report on that contest as of yet. William Blount is in Cleveland for that matchup. Grace Baptist Academy and Friendship Christian in action tonight. Loudon at Brainerd. And Montgomery Bell Academy was leading McCallie at last report 21-0. Notre Dame and Christ Academy of Knoxville, no report on that as of yet. Marion County and Bledsoe County 22-14. Marion County leading at last report. Other games going on, Heritage and Tortuga. Let's see, Gordon Central and Gilmer in action tonight. Coahuila Creek and Southeast Woodfield. And Lafayette and Gordon Lee. Another big game on the schedule here tonight. Sweetwater was leading McMinn Central at last report 22-0. Grace Christian out of Knoxville last report over Boyd Buchanan 42-0. All right. And also Grundy County trailing York Institute 21-0. So still a lot of games in action, or we just haven't got those finals as of yet. We'll try to bring those to you as soon as possible. But interesting to tell you, with Red Bank and Signal Mountain, we brought you some good games here already in week 3 of the high school football season. Last week, Red Bank and Chattanooga Central taking it into overtime, 23-20. And then tonight, Red Bank defeating Signal Mountain in another good rivalry game. It was a Region 3A, Region 3 game going on, and Red Bank getting the upper hand over Signal Mountain. Signal Mountain made a valiant comeback, but when you take a look at the standings now, Red Bank, it looks like they're pretty much in control of their division right now. Sweetwater staying right up there with them as well. Signal Mountain dropping to 0-3. Depending on McMinn Central and Brainerd, they may be dropping to 0-3 as well. So right now, Red Bank and Sweetwater are the two top teams in that region in Class 3A Region 3. So still some interesting scenarios. And as we said, East Ridge and Brainerd will be in action next week. Brainerd having a difficult time. East Ridge just as much. So it will be interesting to see if both of those teams are going to go into that contest 0-3, or whether or not Brainerd will end up with a 1-2 record going into that game and having that slight advantage over their opponent next week at Brainerd High School. All right, still got more coming in, and we will try to get you updated with all that here in just a little bit. No new finals to report to you other than South Pittsburgh defeating Sale Creek 49-0. Chattanooga Christian over Silverdale 42-6. Tryon defeating Dade County out of Georgia 21-0. Lookout Valley over Jellicoe 42-0. Meigs County over Cumberland Gap 40-6. Tyner Academy surprising Polk County tonight by a score of 35-7. Woodwell over Copper Basin 61-0. So those are the finals that we've got right now. And from what we have told you here, and it's like when you look at Copper Basin, you look at some of these other teams out there like Walker Valley, you kind of have to feel for them that they have not been able to get the number of kids out there to field a decent team. And it's just unfortunate that there are schools out there like that tend to suffer a little bit. There's some other games going on tonight. Sonoraville and Darlington down in Georgia. Let's see here. No score on that. Loudon and Brainerd are in action. We just haven't been able to get a final on that. But we will try to do that before we go off the air here in about another 20 minutes or so. So if we can, we will try to get you that info as much as we can here tonight. All right. High school football here on Nougat Radio 92.7 FM. And I'm Sam Jordan with the Fifth Quarter Show. A lot of games still going on, and we are trying to bring you all of the latest that we can in tonight's action here from around the region. But still, quite a few games that are still ongoing as we speak, including William Blount in Cleveland and Grace Baptist Academy and Friendship Christian. Still a lot of games, though, coming in that are gradually making the final status. And so we'll try to get that for you as soon as possible. High school football on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, being brought to you in part by Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, also by Apollo Hair Systems, located at 5512 Ringgold Road, Suite 112. And stop by and see Karen and Lauren, and they will get you either a cut that you're looking for, or if you're looking to add a little, they can also help you with that as well. So stop by and see Karen and Lauren at Apollo Hair Systems. Also, one-on-one personal training. Adam Seiler and his fine staff be more than glad to get you into a fitness regime of where you can get that body toned up the way that you want it, and they will help you step by step. So give them a visit over off of East Brainerd Road and Gun Barrel Road, just right near the mall area there around Hamilton Place. So East Brainerd and Gun Barrel, where you can find one-on-one personal training. Don't forget to join us on Thursday nights for the Gridiron Gang Show, live from Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. Join me, Sam Jordan, along with Keon Rose and Nick LaFew for all the action on Thursday nights at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. High school football action continues next Friday night with Eastridge and Brainerd. Brainerd's game still ongoing, but if Brainerd would lose, both of these teams would be at 0-3 going into that game on Friday night. So it will be an interesting contest. Maybe not as interesting per se as the excitement that you got tonight and last Friday night with Red Bank and Chattanooga Central last week, and Red Bank holding on for a victory over Signal Mountain, and the final on that game 20-13. So interesting how the season's starting to shape up a little bit. All right, final now, Montgomery Bell Academy, or MBA, defeating McCauley 34-14. So McCauley dropping to 2-1 after that defeat tonight by MBA. That game being played at Montgomery Bell Academy. So that's the latest final that has came in here to the Sports Center. And we're gradually getting there, slowly but surely, giving you all these finals. North Murray and Model in action over on the Georgia side of things. Riverside Military and Christian Heritage also in action tonight. No report on that game. Notre Dame and Christian Academy out of Knoxville, or CAK as a lot of people call them, in action. No report on that game in itself. Sonoraville and Darlington, another game that we're searching out. Loudon and Brainerd, also one of those. Brainerd, as we said, will be hosting Eastridge next Friday night, and that is our Nuga Radio 92.7 FM game of the week. Cannon County and Sequatchie County also in action. Marion County leading Bledsoe County at last report 22-14. Grace Christian out of Knoxville leading Boyd Buchanan 42-7. That should be getting close to a final. And Grundy County and York Institute still in action as well. Now, there are several games that are important next week. Marion County and South Pittsburgh. And our good friend Stephen Hargis, sports editor at the Chattanooga Times Free Press, coming out with a book here very soon, just detailing the 8 miles that separate these two schools, South Pittsburgh and Marion County. And we've talked with Stephen about this book and the history between these two teams. Well, they are huge rivals. I mean, huge is probably an understatement. But these two teams keep fighting it out. And they make things very interesting through the years. And it's been a long time with these two schools playing each other. They will be on tap next Friday night, Marion County and South Pittsburgh. High school football here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. This is the fifth quarter show coming up at 11 o'clock, CBS World and National News, and then followed by Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Once again, final Montgomery Bell Academy edging out to McCauley 34-14. Tyner Academy defeating Polk County 35-7. Whitwell over Copper Basin 61-0. Marist, Georgia defeating Baylor 33-14. That's now a final. Baylor drops to 1-2 on the year. That's Baylor. And they started out with a surprise victory over Notre Dame, and they've dropped 2 straight in a row. They're hoping to rectify their season here next week. And we'll talk more about that next Thursday night with the Gridiron Gang show. South Pittsburgh defeating Sale Creek 49-0. It was Chattanooga Christian over Silverdale Baptist 42-6. Tryon defeated Dade County 21-0. Lookout Valley over Jellicoe 42-0. Meigs County over Cumberland Gap 40-6. And those are the finals that we have at the moment, other than Ottawa pulling off a surprise at Bradley Central, winning after intercepting Bradley Central with 30 seconds left in their contest. Ottawa defeats Bradley Central 28-27. Red Bank defeated Signal Mountain, as you heard here earlier tonight on Nuga Radio, by a score of 20-13. So several games still ongoing. East Hamilton defeated East Ridge 21-6. And we still got a few others out there, but those are pretty much the finals that we have right now. And as I swing over here, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll have more for you on the fifth quarter show here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
The rumors are true. We've opened a Starbucks at 10 North, 20 Cherokee Boulevard on the North Shore. And we're more than just what we brew. We're your new North Shore neighborhood living room, a gathering place, a part of your daily routine. With a warm atmosphere, a spacious patio, convenient complimentary parking, and a full Starbucks food and beverage menu, including the new Nitro Cold Brew. We're a coffee experience, and we make sure everything we do is through the lens of community and contributing value to our vibrant neighborhood. Open daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. We look forward to serving you. Starbucks North Shore, inspiring and nurturing the human spirit. One person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. Locally owned and operated by Vision Hospitality Group.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Rick is buying and selling a woman's best friend, diamonds. Stop in now and check out the wide selection from Chattanooga's premier jeweler, Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga. Before you buy, let Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds create that special gift for you. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
The 25th anniversary of the Trail of Tears Memorial Motorcycle Ride comes to Chattanooga Saturday, September 15th. Join the pre-ride kickoff party at Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga Friday the 14th, starting at 4. We'll see you there.
The Knife Shop at Frost Colliery, located just off the Ottawa exit of I-75 North, has a complete selection of reloading supplies, a vast array of cutlery and cutlery-related products, handmade local crafted knives from around the world. Check out their vast selection of other collectibles.
When it comes to sports, you can count on great, exciting sports action on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Fifth quarter show continues here on Nougat Radio 92.7 FM. I'm Sam Jordan, your host. Don't forget, you can always join us on Thursday nights with the Gridiron Gang Show, live from Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. And join myself along with Keon Rose and Nick LaFew for all the excitement. We also have interviews and other little tidbits of information. We make our predictions. In fact, I didn't even hear because I was busy on other things on Thursday night. I was there, but I didn't even hear who predicted what with Red Bank and Signal Mountain. So hopefully they were right. I don't know who to pick that would have been wrong on this, but I'm sure that you can join in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for the Breakfast Blitz with Nick LaFew and friends, and I'm sure Keon will be there in attendance as well. Then don't forget, coming up at 10 a.m. tomorrow after CBS World and National News, we'll have the premiere of We've Got You Covered Radio with Scott Schrader from Chattanooga Roofing Contractors. He will be in studio taking your calls or questions and talking about different things related to home improvements, also simple things that you can do to fix your home and keep the value in it throughout the lifetime of your ownership of your home. All right, let's take a look here at the scoreboard. Gradually getting a few more finals in here, and we'll try to get those in before we go to the top of the hour with CBS World and National News. Your high school football game of the week broadcast of Red Bank and Signal Mountain had Red Bank coming out on top 20-13 over Signal Mountain. Red Bank improves to 2-0 on the season with the victory. Signal Mountain drops to 0-3 on the season. Marist, Georgia defeated Baylor tonight by a score of 33-14. Baylor drops to 1-2 on the year. East Hamilton goes to 2-1 after their defeat of East Ridge 23-6. It was Ray County, the Golden Eagles, going to 2-0 on the year after defeating Walker Valley 49-10. Ray County will be traveling to McMinn County next Friday night. Ottawa pulling off a narrow victory over Bradley Central at Bradley Central on an interception with 30 seconds to go in the game, and they hold on with a 28-27 victory over the Bears of Bradley Central. Meigs County defeated Cumberland Gap 40-6. Montgomery Bell Academy defeated McCauley 34-14 tonight. McCauley drops to 2-1 on the season. Tyner Academy and Polk County go to 2-1 on the season after the Tyner Academy squad defeated Polk County 35-7. Lookout Valley defeated Jellicoe 42-0. Lookout Valley now at 2-0-1 on the season. South Pittsburgh defeated Sale Creek by a score of 49-0. South Pittsburgh jumps to 3-0 on the season. Sale Creek now at 1-2. Whitwell, a big 61-0 winner over Copper Basin. Whitwell 3-0 on the season. Copper Basin dropping to 0-3 on the year. Dalton getting another victory over Northwest Whitfield 24-14 in Georgia football action. And also Tryon defeated Dade County by a score of 21-0. Chattanooga Christian won over Silverdale Baptist 42-6. Chattanooga Christian goes to 2-1 on the season. That's a look at all the finals that we have at the moment. Still a lot of other games that we just haven't gotten those finals on yet, but hopefully they will be gradually coming in here. If not, you can always tune in tomorrow and get those latest scores and everything with the Breakfast Blitz here on Nougat Radio 92.7 FM. It's always been fun to be bringing you all of the scores and highlights from throughout the game. Don't forget, tomorrow, the Vols will be in action. They will be at Charlotte, North Carolina, taking on West Virginia University, the Mountaineers, in a neutral site game. And it will be interesting to see how these two teams will react to each other, because Tennessee coming in with a new football coach. Don't know what quarterback is going to be at the helm. And you can always follow the action with updates and stuff throughout the afternoon here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. But it was a great game tonight with Red Bank and Signal Mountain. Don't forget, next Friday night, it will be Brainerd and Eastridge at Brainerd. And we'll have that for you with the countdown to kickoff starting at 7 o'clock here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. High school football gets its week going on Thursday nights with the Gridiron Gang Show with myself, Keon Rose, and Nick LaFew. And you can always participate, come down. They also have specific drinks for the teams that are playing. And Eastridge and Brainerd will have their own specialty drink. And you can come down and check out what those specialty drinks are and find out and show your support in those two teams that will be playing next week. All right, so we're going to check here and make sure that we didn't miss anything. There's still several games, a lot of games still going on in Georgia. Some of them have a little bit of a slight delay because of the weather down in Georgia, but for the most part, everything still ongoing, and you can always find out more in tomorrow's edition of the Chattanooga Times Free Press if we're not able to get you those scores of those games before we go off the air here at 11 o'clock. So not too far away. Don't forget Ground Zero Clyde Lewis coming your way here in just a little bit after CBS World and National News. But we'll go back over the scoreboard here momentarily. Terrell losing to Calhoun tonight in Georgia football by a score of 52-6. That's the latest score that we've got that has went final. It'd be interesting to see how Chattanooga Central and Sequoia out of Madisonville fared tonight. Last report, Central was leading 7-0. Ottawa pulling off that big upset over Bradley Central. Both teams now going, I believe, 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look to make sure. Bradley Central dropping to 1-2 after their defeat tonight by Ottawa after that pick in the final waning moments, last 30 seconds of the contest, and Ottawa was leading 28-27. All right, that's going to wrap things up. We are glad that you've been a part of tonight's broadcast of Red Bank and Signal Mountain here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Also, coming up next Thursday night, we will have the Gridiron Gang Show next Thursday night from 7 to 9.
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
On the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Jim Taylor. On the day of her funeral in Detroit, a celebration of soul. Gospel singer Shirley Caesar giving it up at the memorial service for Aretha Franklin. Stevie Wonder spoke. Smokey Robinson sang. Bill Clinton gave an emotional address, as did the Reverend Al Sharpton.
She represented the best in our community, and she fought for our community until the end.
Aretha Franklin now interred at a Detroit mausoleum. America says goodbye to John McCain.
We give thanks for the consequential life of Senator John McCain.
The rare honor of lying in state was extended by the leaders of both parties, who worked and tangled with the dogged six-term senator for decades. McCain will be remembered here for the compromises he hammered out on immigration, campaign finance, and foreign policy.
CBS's Nancy Cordes in the rotunda of the national Capitol, where John McCain was accorded the rare honor of lying in state. Thousands paying their respects today. Canada's top trade negotiator says a win-win-win agreement is within reach. Trade talks overshadowed, though, by reports that President Trump boasted in what he says was an off-the-record interview that he would not offer Canada any compromise.
I gave a totally off-the-record, you saw it. It said, off the record. And I said something strong, but it's my belief. And they violated it. And they said they were violating it.
Presidential tweet tonight. Still can't believe that Bloomberg violated a firm off-the-record statement. 8 dead, 30 injured. A nightmare of an accident in New Mexico. Police say a tire blew out on a tractor trailer before it slammed into a Greyhound bus. The bus driver died in the crash. The truck driver, Elasario Taito, injured. Taito offering an apology to the people on board the bus and their families.
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know if I could do anything to change it. I would, but I can't.
Net neutrality, the concept not gone in California. The governor, Jerry Brown, will decide whether the state should have the nation's strongest protections for net neutrality rules intended to ensure a level playing field on the internet. CBS News technology consultant Larry Magid.
This is California's way to get around the federal communications ruling that rescinded net neutrality. It only applies in California, but because California is such a large state, it could have national implications.
This is CBS News.
Progressive. We'll compare rates for you so you get the best deal, even if it's not with us, saving you time and money. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's you, Jamie. Don't hang up. You need to hear this. You gotta quit wearing that aviator jacket. Nobody's buying it. I'm sorry you have to hear it from me, but at Progressive, we're all about giving it to people straight. That's why we show our rates alongside our competitors' rates. And when you're helping people find great rates, you don't need some jacket to look cool. Just keep rocking that scarf.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparisons not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Another store closing? Well, we're here for you. Kohl's, with the best brands like Nike, Under Armour, Levi's, Adidas, Carter's, Hanes, and so many more. For your family and for your home. And the best savings with incredible sales, Kohl's Cash, and Yes to You rewards. Kohl's is the best place to shop. Shop anytime online or go to kohls.com/stores to find a store near you. Kohl's, we're here for you.
So if you think of Oregon as cool and green, think again. The state's very dry. Could get drier if the latest forecast models hold. KXLL's Mike Turner.
Record